buddy. Chill. Chill.
Second.
All right,
Hello.
we will open the meeting at 6:38. Yeah, that's okay, 8 minutes, we're good. So first on the agenda is June 9th meeting minutes. Everyone's looked them over. Any additions, deletions, comments? No. All right, I'll take a motion. Oh,
John is.
Hey, this is John Wamback.
all right, we got you.
Yeah, the Zoom link, sorry about that. The Zoom link compatibility with my iPhone wasn't working until I had to call my IT and have them like give me a pass to Zoom. All right, so I'm sorry I'm a little late, guys.
Nope, that's okay. Hey, why I got you, did you happen to get over to the clerk's office to get sworn in?
No, because I was in the office all day today, so I was going to go tomorrow morning.
Good enough. You're not voting on anything, so you're just listening, so we're good to go.
Awesome.
All right, so again, I will take a motion if there's no changes on the minutes.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Since John's on there, I gotta do roll call.
Even though he doesn't vote.
I know, I just in case. I don't wanna have any more, So Keith,
Aye.
Lauren,
Aye.
Alex?
Aye.
Tim, aye. So the June 9th meeting minutes are approved. Let's go into the next topic, which is an A and R for Leroy Clark at 199 Glenwood Road. Mr. Petrova, I'll let you go through the sales pitch.
Are we on the board or just on the table?
Oh,
Just,
yeah, let's,
We don't have it on here tonight.
okay,
Yeah.
so it's easy. I'll take a look at it. I'm Julian from New England Environmental Design, working for Skip Clark. And he's got a piece of his farm, he's cutting off a house lot. So, I don't know if you're all familiar where his farm is. It's on Glenwood Road, so we're cutting off a corner. And it's a 2.37 acre parcel, and it has well over 200 feet of frontage. It's got actually 262.71 on the curve, and then it's even got more on the street, so it meets all the criteria. I ask for an endorsement.
I looked it over, frontage is good for me, acreage is well beyond the 1.5 of the R60. Sure I'm correct, yep.
Is it the field?
No, it's wooded.
Yeah.
It's the woods
Further.
furthest towards Route 68.
Okay. So it's after the field.
So it's not really even a piece that he's farming.
Okay.
It's off hardwood piece.
We got a check for 400, we've got the design, we got the Form A, all the components are here for an A&R approval. So I'll take a motion to endorse.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second, any discussion? All right, we'll do roll call, Keith,
Keith, aye.
Lauren,
Aye.
Alex,
Aye.
Tim, aye. That's 4-0 approved, now we gotta sign it. Does anybody, to me, get it, all right in front of me, yeah, sorry.
I like that it's more than two. I like that it's a decent number there. I don't think you can subdivide that again. It's not under the current rules.
I know I didn't ask you, you think conservation has to go walk around over there?
Yeah, it's actually been filed with Concom, we did a site walk.
Okay.
So the site walks were behind us, we're gonna have a meeting in beginning of July.
Tim, can you guys sign the paper copy as well for the
Oh.
file?
Sure. We can do that with the pen, so.
You know, at the registry, they don't keep the Mylar anymore.
They don't?
No.
They only keep this?
They scan it and they give it back to you.
Oh.
So everybody gets a little trophy of their plan. What do we do? We paid all this money, we get nothing? No, they kept it.
Why didn't you put it on the Mylar paper then?
Yeah, that is a gray area right now, I asked. And that one person said, oh, because that's the,
Does Norm?
Nobody's changed the rules yet?
that's the, right now, they scan it and electronic copy. Cause they used to keep it in a huge file room and you could actually request to see this plan, the original, at any time. But not no more. So hopefully the computer doesn't go down. There'll be a lot of records gone. So, thank you very much.
Alright, thanks, Julian.
Well, sticking for that, hoping for that. If your records go up, your records go up, be it
Right.
fire, be it hacking, or whatever. Where's this ending up with you?
Can I just have that folder back?
Yep, I got that. Checks 12761. $4. All right, let's move on to number 2. Proposed solar site by, and my pronunciation will be lousy, Diversixia.
Diverxia?
Okay. I understand you're here to give us sort of an overview.
Yeah.
Cause there's a bunch of forms and stuff you'll have to fill out way for site plan review and documents, which you guys will do, so.
Yeah, this is a.
This is a meet and greet.
Yes.
This is a little meet and greet here.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, we are. You guys ready to?
Good.
Okay. Yeah.
Good. We're
Well,
listening.
thank you for your time. We are Diverxia. We are a solar developer and EPC contractor. So we mainly develop projects in the United States, but we are starting to also construct. And we have several projects here in Massachusetts that are in the development stage, talking to utility and this and that. One of them happens to be this one here in Rutland. So with this particular project, we have already been in contact with National Grid and gone through some of the studies there. And just wanted to, understand more of the more local town process. We understand that we are R60, and that it's just a site plan review, so it's not as in-depth as the special use permit or CUP in some of these boards, but just wanted to introduce the project, go over any questions you guys might have with it, and also just give you guys a background of us, and we like to engage in the community early for all of our projects, so.
Well, we do have a whole checklist to go through for solar projects, even with site plan review, so
Okay.
we'll expect that to all be filled out and done appropriately. And what I can't tell is, and I should have zoomed this up when I looked at it, this just looks like there's no battery backup on this, correct?
No.
Okay, that was my first question.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole battery storage.
Yeah, the whole
bylaw.
battery storage
Starting
thing
to
is a
be a red
topic in
flag?
Massachusetts, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with it, I just wanted to make sure. 'Cause
Okay.
It looks like you just got the control center and then the electric and then all of the panels in the back. You've got the fences, double fences actually, it looks like, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, just single.
Yeah, just single. The other one's just a boundary line.
Vehicle access. And like I said, you can check our regulations where we've got everything that's required, O&Ms and stuff like that, in discussion with the fire chief and stuff like, and
Yeah.
so my
And we'll
advice,
have like a decommissioning plan and more of a.
that's all laid out in there, so if you
Yeah.
look over our regulations, you'll have everything there that you need to do.
Okay,
That is the expectations that we'll have.
Okay, that makes sense, alright.
I have a question if you don't mind, without the benefit of looking at the plan.
Okay. On the
Is
plan?
this the Mason Tree Farm? Is this the Mason Tree Farm, property?
I do not
No.
believe, no, it's not it's not a
No,
farm.
it's
No?
it's a parcel that we actually did an A&R for a couple months ago. It's on Pleasantdale, like not too far before the Four Corners intersection. It was a big lot with a big field and a house, and then we sort of split that, well, we didn't, but they split the house and the field into 2 lots.
Okay.
So it's essentially all open space now.
They A&R'd it,
Yeah.
a while back.
Yeah. Winter maybe? I forget. I drive by there every day, which is why I know exactly where it is.
No, I knew that, like, I was looking at the map of the location, and I was trying to figure out if there was an entrance to the tree, 2 entrances to the tree farm, one on, right after Four Corners and then one right before, Colonial.
Yeah, the entrance, the one that's on Pleasantdale is like, if you're coming from the center of town, that Mason entrance is like not too far after this parcel.
That's actually
Okay.
close,
Closer to,
yeah.
yeah, closer to Four Corners.
John, any more questions?
No,
Okay. Any questions from the board?
Whose sheep will it
I
be?
got a couple, but anyone else can go first, that's fine.
Is this whole lot gonna be clear cut, I would assume?
No,
for
it's
a solar
already
field?
It's open.
pre-cleared.
Okay.
And this will be agrivoltaic project, so we will plan to do sheep grazing or possibly hay. The soil's not really the best for like, a produce of any kind.
Right,
And so, and it seems to have always been pasture land, so we'll probably keep it in that same form. And so it'll mostly just be raising solar panels and then sheep grazing underneath.
have you sourced the sheep yet?
I was gonna say, yeah, who-
No,
who
we have
owns the
talked to
sheep?
several sheep grazers, like networks where you kind of tell them, hey, I have a solar in this area, and then they will find you a solar, like grazers that
Yeah.
go from solar farm to solar farm. So we
That's
have
pretty
been in
cool.
discussions with several of those, but no talks on like who it would be or anything.
I liked that term, agrivoltaic, is that what we were going with?
Yes, yeah,
I like
that's
that.
I haven't heard that one, that's a new one.
it's a smart 3.0
Do
through
they
the
sit
state.
higher off the ground than your typical panel?
Yeah, because
that
of the
what you-
grazing and the Massachusetts will require the actual torque tube, is what they call it, to be 10 feet in the air.
Okay,
The panels will be about 8 feet from the ground.
the lowest point is about 8
Yes,
feet,
8 feet.
okay.
What is the serviceable life of this project as you guys see it?
So we expect the panels to last around 20 years, and that's the same incentive for the Smart 3.0. With the landowner, we have the agreement to go to 45 years, and we
Okay.
would, if there's another rollout of Smart 4.0 or whatever the next thing is, we would definitely entertain a
Okay,
future progression, whether it's an upgrade or.
there is a future plan,
Yeah,
there's a.
like we have option for the land to try and do
Got
something
it.
else as
Got
well,
it.
yeah.
So the current owners would maintain ownership of it, that your company would not
Actually,
own the
no,
parcel, or?
I misspoke. This one is a purchase, so we are
Okay.
purchasing from the landowner.
Okay.
Okay,
Under, so, I guess it's not big enough, never mind. I was gonna ask a question about 61, but it's not big enough, so. Unless you guys own other property around it.
No, this is just the purchase of this one.
The only thing I'd mention in the design standpoint is, think about some way how to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a vegetative buffer?
Yeah, exactly, because I noticed there was two houses across and then one next to it. Of course, the one next to it obviously sold it because they knew it was gonna be a solar field.
Mhm.
But we've asked in the past for, at least from the roadside, to try to make it as, what's the word I'm looking for? Invisible?
well, and that cuts down on any solar glare or anything.
Yes,
from the
yeah,
panels and
Alex,
stuff
that's
like
what,
that.
that's what we've tried to do in the past with the solar ones is, arborvitae's, whatever, something along that lines.
Okay,
Nothing too crazy, obviously, so we don't
Yeah.
wanna cut off your solar capacity.
yeah, we're already a pretty small parcel here, and it's a pretty small project, but we already did envision for sure a decent amount of vegetation on the side with the neighbor. And then, yeah, we could definitely add some
And then think about, just because I'm used to this working for Eversource on this, sometimes an advantage is on the fence line of having the, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah,
The
they like slide in.
slats that go through the fence line, so it sort of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Shields it.
Shields it, yeah, basically doesn't, so anybody driving by, unless they see it off the 8 feet in the air, they won't know anything's there, so.
Yeah.
Just a thought, again, you guys are doing the design, but it's something that makes things go easier and, with the, people around it.
Yeah, kind of
So-
like a privacy.
Yeah,
shield.
privacy.
Yeah.
We have to do that with a lot of our sites. We've gotta put in slatted fence or really tight fence that's a little chain, it's expensive, so. I
That's
know.
good enough.
Yeah.
You know, it's a medium traffic road for our town, you know. It's so I mean, I'm not saying a lot of people will probably rubberneck and get distracted by it. It's not like a mountain, you know, to look, nice mountain to look at, but in terms of that, you know, some of that may help just drivers in the end, you know. Cause it's on a curve too, so if everyone's just,
Kind of
you
go
know,
around the curve.
you know, whatever.
Well, all of them are gonna be facing this way because the sun's coming around this way, so I'm guessing all the
East to.
Yep, yeah,
basically
and that's the orientation of
the
the survey.
southwest to southeast side
Yep,
or southwest to west side is where.
and they will be trackers as well, so.
Oh, so these have,
Cool.
They're like
Yeah.
axis ones where it follows the sun throughout the day.
I've seen,
Fancy.
part of-
Whoa.
We're getting high tech.
the
Rutland.
the Israelis did that out in, Las Vegas
Oh,
with
yeah.
their panels. They had the, I forget the name of them, but they could basically, they were shooting at a boiler, so they were trying to, big difference.
Oh, all those mirrors, yeah.
Yeah, the mirrors out and that
So
Oh,
you
the
got,
thing with the
like,
thing in the center.
Australia.
I saw that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that was my old company's boiler, and they had the
That was
focus,
Australia.
what's that?
Didn't they have that in Australia?
Maybe
I don't know.
Giant mirrors surrounding it, and then they send all the, like, hot air goes through a turbine in the center.
No, the ones in Las Vegas, just, I don't wanna get too sidetracked, but there's a boiler on the outside, and the sun focuses at a point that heats the water up.
Interesting.
And then that steam is of course used for turbines to make electricity.
Cool.
Interesting.
But at the time when it was $2,000 a megawatt for its maintenance cost, really wasn't too much.
Right, yeah.
I'd say in general, obviously those notes that we had, but in general, I welcome the idea of solar in Rutland. It's
Yes.
better than a couple houses, because last time I checked, solar panels don't go to the local high school. So
Yeah, no.
that'll save us on our
But
tax
again, read
bill.
the bylaws, got everything in there, we've got a solar bylaw, so
Uh-huh.
So,
please follow that to the letter. So so the site plan and all that stuff will just smooth right through and get you building.
Yeah, I think Stephanie has a PhD in all the different zonings in here in Massachusetts. She's read them all extensively, so.
Yeah, and ours is unique to our town, but it's
Yeah.
probably stuff you've seen before.
Yeah, we've tried to use a general with the state, and since there's no battery here, that makes life so much easier.
yeah, definitely.
So, great. Does the board have any other questions?
I guess it's a lot different than like putting up a business structure where
was
it's
gonna ask about
zoned, you know, zoning for business or anything like that. You said it was by right, I think, in the packet. Is that just by size or something like that, or?
So it's actually in the zoning bylaw, so we checked the zoning and it's R60. And there's like a chart in the bylaw that tells you the size of the project as well as the zoning district, so it's allowed by right, but then it further defines that it still requires site plan approval by the planning board.
Yeah.
So we've been going back and forth about that, and they did know that, but had just wanted to at least come and
Yeah.
broach the
Yep.
topic.
And there's still all of the bylaw stuff that basically you have to adhere to,
Yeah.
even though it's by right, so.
Well, I mean, not every solar installation is ever gonna be on a business property, you know, unless it's on a
No.
roof system or you have plenty of, someone willing to sell space like that, you know, so, I mean, they're gonna go in fields. And we've done several in town, I think, already, so, I mean,
Further down Pleasantdale, there's a huge
yeah, there's a
one.
large one that's just squared off
Yeah.
next to the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cross the
Goes for a while.
intersection.
Yeah, that was gonna be one of my questions for you guys, if like, have you guys had this in the area and, Has the town been somewhat supportive of it, or is this something that?
Yeah,
There's
the
two or
town
three
has,
right
National
now.
Grid might not have. You're gonna have some fun time with
Oh,
Grid, let
yeah,
me
we
just say
have,
that.
yeah.
And again, with Eversource too, the utilities have a lot of paperwork that you're gonna have to fill out
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
to tie in, but I think the town's been receptive.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean, I know the Pleasantdale one because I drive by it, but I'm not sure what other kind of like non-home-based.
There's one on
There's
Wachusett
solars there.
Street.
Yeah.
Is it
Is that the
big
one?
Wachusett Street across from, near like, where Muskapog
Oh,
Road is.
duh.
Yeah,
It's like. it's
where
across
Jordan
the street.
Farm
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
But that one's, I feel like it's set back in a
It
way
is
that like
set
it's
back.
not super obvious, except obviously where like their driveway is. But yeah, but that's quite large actually
Yep,
back
that's a
there.
big one.
There's one
Yeah.
off Glenwood, if you go to the rail trail through the parking lot there, so off to the other side of the rail trail, there's one way back in the woods there that's enormous.
The other private lot is right at the 68 and Hubbardston, where the new hydraulic, I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bay
Dave
State?
Putnam?
Bay State
Yeah, Bay
Hydraulic?
State has
Yeah.
a solar field in the back,
Oh,
Oh,
and that's on private property, so, again, that's R62, so.
But if you guys cross that intersection at Four Corners and you just keep going down Pleasantdale Road, I think that one in Pleasantdale is probably the largest one that we have
Yeah.
here in town. It's pretty expansive
big.
and it's right on the road. You
Yeah.
can see it for sure.
Right.
Go ahead, John.
I was just saying, the one right on near the Spencer line is a very big, solar project. I'm pulling into the parking lot right now, so I'll see you guys in a minute.
Okay.
Right.
That's all I've got, I don't have much else, I mean, thanks for coming, I appreciate the,
Thank you guys.
coming and doing the introduction.
Yeah, well, like I
As
said,
you get in, to the paperwork,
The checklist.
no, we have a shortage of manpower in Rutland, we don't have a planner.
uh-huh.
And Miss Murphy is potentially be leaving us, so we won't have access to her, so I don't have a plan yet, I've got a couple solutions that potentially who will get you in contact with for paperwork and or any engineering reviews,
Okay,
so
I will do my best to get you guys set up for success with everything that you need, so
Yes.
that hopefully we can make a smooth transition, so that
Yes.
your project isn't delayed based on the staffing issues we have.
yeah, that would be awesome.
We
You know,
I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Point of contact.
Uh-huh.
If you run into any shortages, I can give you my number.
Okay.
For right now, I'm just serving as the chair. Norm Anderson's actually the chair, he's just out right now, so
Okay.
you wanna take my
Your
name,
number, your email, or
I can
whatever.
write everything down for you.
stay.
I'm old school.
That's perfect.
No, that's okay, I wanted to be a doctor, so
Got the handwriting.
yeah.
Well, it's cool to see
this is assessed on something like that.
2026
structure,
solar
technically.
project, you know,
I would have no idea.
Yeah.
for advancement, I don't think we
How
have
would
any
taxes assessed
articulating
on something like a
panels and
solar?
stuff like that.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
kind of a
uh,
lot, but
grid
it's not really
is kinda
buildable,
sort of
there's
put a halt
stuff
on a
on
lot
it,
of
it's
that
also
with,
not a house.
That's a good question. I'm
large-
sure that there's probably.
ASO
a
studies,
Yeah.
as they're called.
$80,000 studies for
I know
engineering
that they're
studies,
not
yeah.
lost,
Okay,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, it's not just like
Name,
empty lot.
contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you, you know,
Thank
and
you.
Anything you need,
like Tim
You
said,
said
along
they
the
don't go to
way,
school,
we'll
so-
put you through the
If we could
process
tax
and
them
stuff.
kind of
Yeah,
like a
that's
house
awesome.
and they don't need anything.
Glad we could make introductions and.
no,
Yeah.
we're glad to have a new project in
Safety.
town. So we've had a couple solars that haven't gone through just because of the paperwork and things, hoops had to jump through.
Uh-huh.
Not so much from the town, but from other sources.
Yeah.
So great.
Are you guys local to a degree? It's on
My
it,
sister's in Boston and I'm in upstate New York,
okay.
remotely working for.
And then I'm
different
in, our headquarters are in Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Did you
and then-
fly out tonight? Or
Yeah,
today?
this morning,
Okay.
and then I fly out tomorrow morning.
Did you
Yeah.
fly into
Visiting.
Boston or Worcester?
Boston.
Okay.
We're thinking about having him come into Worcester next time though.
Yeah.
I've heard it's a
It's a fun-
lovely
it's a-
experience.
It's
I have.
I'm gonna give you some advice from
Parking
30 years of
lot.
travel.
If they went more places, I would always.
I love small airports.
American Airlines, which is most likely to tie into
Uh-huh.
Charlotte, will be Used to be
That's what he
US,
flew in.
Yeah.
US Air, I call it Scareways, I shouldn't say that.
Well, if someone else is paying.
Yeah,
If someone else is paying.
Go- yeah,
Whatever
go to
you want,
Boston,
yeah,
yeah.
go to Boston,
Not Worcester.
take your time getting in and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
those
you
are
for
sometimes
visiting.
because the elevation gets fogged in and you get rerouted to, Boston, and then you gotta figure out how to get there and deal with it, so.
You're in like Manchester. New
Good,
Hampshire.
I'm glad, I wish you success, and like I said, Tamika will,
Sorry. You're doing sign language.
get in touch, when she gets you set up after the fact in July, if you need questions, don't hesitate to call me and we'll figure something out,
Awesome.
what we need to do.
Perfect.
Awesome.
I'll email
Right.
you to me.
Absolutely, I promise, we won't leave you stranded.
I wasn't
No.
worried.
We won't just go
You're so
or
responsive.
anything,
I was-
so
No.
don't worry.
Perfect.
Excellent, well,
Alright,
thank
thank
you
you,
for coming,
everyone.
I appreciate it.
Safe travels.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you, take care.
Air travels, good luck.
Grab my bag.
Alright, so that's 2 done. Let's go to 3. Mr. Kolosky has sent a email in, timely, because the bylaw subcommittee is working on the subdivision regs. So, he has requested, I'm presuming everybody's read it, that, to leave out granite as well as concrete catch basins from designs and only use Cape Cod berms. So that's his request. So I will ask the board thoughts.
I personally think the granite look a lot better. I mean, it's a subdivision, not a country road.
Yeah.
And when I look at the Cape Cod berms, they get destroyed by the plows. They get torn right the hell up.
Cut lines in them.
But yeah, but I'm also not the head of DPW with X
Yeah.
amount of experience, so.
We can talk about that tomorrow night when we get to it, because my first thought when I read this was, yep, but we can still leave the option in there during the design phase if the developer wants to use the 3-part, which I wanted to get that specifically in there. Cause I know Chris and I've talked, and the single granite curb or single granite catch basin is off the table. And I agree with him on that.
So I guess what I would like to see is what's typically accepted as best practice. All due respect to Chris, but it sounds like we have flip-flopped from one to the other depending on who is running the DPW. And I'd like to have a solid, this is what we do in this town, so that there's some sort of uniformity. It's not all patchwork together.
And
This
that's,
is what we do and why.
the
Yes,
problem with that is we've got half and half probably throughout this town, some.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think for moving forward, there's not much we can do about what's already been done.
Correct, and that's the only problem with what Alex was saying, how do you justify something when somebody drives into a subdivision, sees granite here and then asphalt other places?
but if you have, let's say, in 10 years, we've built another, hopefully not, but 10 subdivisions. And if all of those look the same, then the 5 that have already been scattered around doing whatever aren't gonna look as out of place, whereas if everyone's a little different, I don't know, it would look weird to me.
I'm tending to,
Consistency is.
yeah,
Correct, yes, thank you, Keith.
I'm tending to go with what the DPW director wants, but I'd still, again, like to leave the option in there if, developers putting together a subdivision and wants granite, then they can bring it to us and we send those plans get sent to the DPW, which comments can be made, I prefer these changed over to asphalt. And I'm fine with that, I'm fine with,
His letter is to eliminate granite from subdivision.
I know, that's,
So, like, what is the financial, like,
I don't think he means go back and remediate it. I know it looks like that, but I don't think that's what he means, is to go back and tear them out. I hope not.
no, this is going forward, is from the way I read it.
Yeah, it was worded
That's
a
what we
little.
asked him for.
Anything else from the board? Cause we're gonna have to talk about this tomorrow night, cause we're knee deep in the subdivision regs to bring before the board after we're finished.
I got a quick comment, but if you wanna talk about it.
Go ahead.
Whenever Tim calls on me, I'll.
I just wanna make sure there
One
was no
more.
other comments on the
I
board.
got one
Finish
more
up.
comment.
Yep.
I just want them to catch water, you know, if they're catching, obviously leaves are a pain. Empty them, you know, we gotta pay to empty them if they do fill up with too much of non-water, you know, stuff that isn't water. I would consider going to just, if he doesn't want large, how does it refer to it?
Large
Yeah, what's it called? You know, where is it, catch basin?
My thought, Keith, is I really
Inlet
wanna.
stones, the way he talks about the mouth of an inlet stone. I mean, if he thinks it's catching too much of something else, why don't we just do a double grade? That's my small comment.
So from my standpoint of building roads for the
Yep,
last
I'll
40
take
years,
that advice.
I can hopefully help you out. First of all, the Cape Cod berms are the ones that don't get messed up by the plows.
Okay,
The plow rides up on the Cape Cod berm, and that's why,
Cause it has like a curve in it.
yeah, that's why the granite
Takes a
curb
huge chunk,
inlets,
though.
cause inevitably, and I know why Chris wants it.
I know, so he
The
doesn't have
only,
rattle
I
teeth.
can tell you,
when he
the
hits
only
them.
DPW director that made me put in the granite was Joe Buckley.
Yeah,
Gary made me get rid of the granite. Chris doesn't want nothing to do with the granite.
and Joe wanted him, yep.
And because what happens is they end up having to replace them over time. Because I mean, you can't see them when you're plowing, it's covered with snow. The plow rides up on the on the Cape Cod berm, it hits that, it's gonna hit it, even if it's got the three pieces,
Yep.
it's gonna hit it, so it really honestly doesn't matter to me, but with Cape Cod berm, granite curb inlets don't look good, to me. I think
No.
it doesn't give you a good flow, and the only time you need a double catch basin is on an incline. Because the water's running so fast over it,
Yeah,
it
it
needs
skips
two. So it's just, I would say that in my opinion, unless it's an A berm, I call them bread loaf berms, it looks like a loaf of bread, then that I would go with the, if you're gonna go with a bread loaf berm, you gotta go with the granite curb inlets. But if you use a Cape Cod berm, you're gonna be fixing that, one or two of them, three of them every year, so that's just my 2 cents.
Okay.
And I have one other question for you. So this is laid out where number 4, but number 5, 6, 7, and number 5, 6, and 7 pertain to me. Do you mind taking number 4 after number 7?
I'm fine with that, cause we've gotta talk about that. That's gonna be probably, I don't mind, if the rest of the board minds skipping ahead and just getting them out of the way.
Just about the berm, I would say, I've seen, like, it is a classy option, like when the berm is like concrete versus like a gravel road, like. And the stormwater collection actually would be improved with the Cape Cod berm from the.
Well, they have a berm the whole way, it's just, it's, no matter what, it's the transition into it
Yeah.
and whether we, like he's saying, if they actually do pull it up, they gotta put a new one in or set it, which can be either, probably can either go in good or it's just gonna be like, looks okay, but there's different berms too.
Yeah.
Do we have a machine that does it here in town? Do you know,
Berms?
Chris?
No.
Yeah, we don't have asphalt
We don't
machine.
have an
No,
asphalt
no,
machine, no.
they sub all that out.
Yeah.
If we
Usually
gotta
something-
replace one, say a guy
They'll,
cuts it.
they'll
into-
sub it out,
Okay.
they have to sub it out. We
Just
can talk
curious.
about it tomorrow night, like I said, I'm more tending to go, if that's what the DPW director wants, I really don't wanna go against his wishes, cause he has to keep these roads clean. So,
And they got the cheapest upkeep, I'm sure. That's another thing, right? I agree with you.
any other thought process?
I think that's what, I mean, I'd like to see granite throughout, like no Cape Cod, but I'm not driving the plows, I'm not, so I
Worcester
I
guys-
agree with you to the most extent that the person who's doing the work and has done the work for decades is probably the one that we need to
Yeah.
weigh the most.
I'm glad he wrote this letter, cause now we've got something to stand on. This is the DPW director's wishes. We can move that forward. Cause Clee's right, in the time I've been on the board, it's flip-flopped. Before, Gary, it was whatever wants to get put in, there was really no
You need to
discussion.
take out the Abrams on Bear Hill and put in Cape Cod.
Yeah, and then Joe came in and Joe wanted only granite. And then Joe left and Chris came in and he wants, so I think we just need to make a call and move forward. So any new subs coming in will have, if we so desire, will be all Cape Cod berms. Okay, that's 3. Any other comments? We'll just move past 3 and, Tamika, if you could just send something back to Chris, a quick letter saying we were considering it and the bylaws, planning board's bylaw subcommittee will look at it. We're going over the subdivision regs and we will put that in. I guess, before we go to that meeting tomorrow night, what's the thought, sort of a straw vote with the board? Do we just stick with Cape Cods as Chris desired, or leave the option in there for granite? If the developer wants to put that in.
Just at the drain.
Oh, yeah.
Cause it'll be,
Putting granite in a
Come to
subdivision.
the dark side.
Yeah. I will be strung up by my toes if we put granite all throughout a subdivision.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
it would cost?
Yeah,
$500,000
yeah.
for curbing, granite curbing in a subdivision.
And most granite curbs I see inside of the Worcester County is in roads, not in subdivisions. So, straw vote, thought, yes, no, to Chris's wishes? Not looking for a motion or anything like that.
I can't really say, cause I would like to get a little bit more information, cause Chris is, if all I knew was Chris, that'd be one thing, but knowing that we had something else in place and then something else before that, I don't necessarily wanna just go with who's here now, especially cause I think you said Chris is
Retiring sometime.
retiring at some point soon. I would like something to be in place from Chris going forward.
A good way to do that is have Mr. Quinn give us,
That's a good idea.
options between the two and the pluses and minuses. And he can put that, pro-con list for granite, 3-piece granite, I'm gonna be very clear about that.
Yeah.
Cause that's the only one Chris said that he would, if we had granite, was 3-piece, so get a pro-con list between, berms, asphalt berms and a 3-piece granite. And send that to us in the next board meeting, we can put that on the agenda to make it a talk about. And, we'll talk with Chris, or talk with, Kevin about that, so let me put that down. But please, Tamika, let him know that we're considering it and we will get back to him with what we have for a decision.
I think, without taking too much time, not only if the DPW director changes, but if the planning board changes, you're gonna see a change in decision constantly too, with, even when you do offer 4 options, you know, and I would just say maybe a dimension size for the Cape Cod berm, cause I think you can, I assume you can make the machine make several different heights. Cause I've seen ones that are like pretty beefy, and then I've seen some that just like kinda look like it's,
I don't know the
but
answer to that.
that's all I would just
I don't
mention.
either.
Yeah. I've seen some pretty tall ones that
Well, I've seen, like
Hold a
Clea
lot
said,
of-
I've seen the bread loaf ones, but
yeah,
those sometimes are a mess if they get too high, because then you've gotta get the right of way up with that and across. Cause you don't wanna have it, you don't wanna have this sticking up and then the
Yeah.
ground drops off, cause then you've got now an edge.
the only thing I've seen with the A berms is if you hit them enough, they split. And I'm sure you know that,
Oh,
they start to just come out in 3
That's
foot
the advantage
sections.
of having the Cape Cod where it just
Yeah.
rolls up.
Yeah,
The other thing with the Cape Cod, like at the planning subdivision where we had Gabe in, it also acts as a better flow of water off the property into, what's the word I'm looking for, into the stormwater.
Street and collect-
Yeah. So,
Okay.
all right, good enough. I will get an email out to Kevin asking for a pro-con for the granite 3-piece and the Cape Cod berms. And ask him to send that back to the planning board. Perfect. All right, let's pass over 4 and go to 5. And I can give some input of that, cause I got a phone call or an email or a text about trees on Pioneer Circle, where there were very adamant and irritated residents. And
Weren't these being put in like open space lots anyway?
no, they were being put on properties.
Oh, I thought we moved on from the properties because people didn't want them.
Well, there is a.
In Arrowhead and
List to
Woodside,
get
yes,
to.
but
But not on
Pioneer was
Pioneer.
gonna be put onto the properties, cause Pioneer Circle's that's what I'm looking for, cul-de-sac dead end.
Let me just comment if I could.
Okay, go ahead.
So, first of all, we could, you can't put that many trees together. So I don't know if you drove down to Woodside Avenue now, but there's like 20 trees on one side of the road. And we filled it in the best we could, but I've got subdivisions that I built back in the late 90s, early 2000s. The trees are like in people's windows. I mean, they're so big, they grow so big. So when those are together like that, it looks awful. I mean, I don't like it at all. And this lady yelling at me because I had no place else to put the trees. And, she's up talking to Heather and Tamika's in there and everybody's yelling at everybody else and calling Tim and, what's going
Yeah.
on. So, I mean, that's what happens. And I told her, I said, I'm putting them in the easement. I'm not putting them on your property. I'm putting them in easement because they didn't want them on their property. But all they're gonna do with these people who got the trees, they're just gonna cut them down. The regulation needs fixing. Some of those lots would have 4 trees on them if they come every 50 feet, depending on the frontage. It's too much. It was in the regulation, that's why the engineer draws it that way. It's the same thing with, going back to the berms for a second. If it's in the regulation, that's what goes on the plan. And so if it's defined better, it works out better. The way those trees are planted down there, I mean, on the curve going up to Pioneer Road, I got like 6 trees. It's just gonna look terrible as the subdivision. They're fine now because they're small, but wait till they grow.
Well, we've got a holding action right now, cause Heather had gotten a lot of complaints, and she directed Mr. Blair to stop. I was like, well, can't really do that, it's gotta come from the planning board, so I sent an email out, and I think I copied everybody on the email, indicating that we were gonna hold on Pioneer until we can come up with a resolution on what trees go in, but Woodside and Arrowhead, per my discussion with Kevin, have all the trees in that are supposed to be in.
And Pioneer's only missing the 2 that were not going on her lot, so I mean, all the trees were planted.
Except for the 2, so I want to feel the board, what do? Do we acquiesce to the resident and say we're subtracting 2 trees that were supposed to go in, but the resident doesn't want them in?
Well, Heather already did.
Well, I know she did, but
You don't wanna,
But-
I'm not going back there, she'll shoot me.
no, that's why I
Not Heather,
wanted.
the lady.
If we don't have the amount of trees that are on the plan, it's gonna need a revision. Cause the plan calls for the amount of trees and they're not the amount's not there, and I don't want somebody in 10 years or 5 years, when this board's changed or something, coming up with an issue, so it's gotta be a revision to the plan, or we come up with another solution.
Did she have the option to come to you first, or do they,
We,
essentially, when they see someone in the yard, that's when the talk happens?
so
Is
let
that-
me tell you how
Saw the holes.
we've done it. This is how we've done it all
Yeah.
along. And the planning board and I have had this agreement as we've been building subdivisions, and if you look in the first 2 phases at Bryce and all the prior subdivisions we've done, 2 trees per lot. And if the people don't want them, they don't have to have them. That's how it's always been. So that's what we did there. So that's why, but everybody made such a big deal because, it didn't meet the plan, it didn't make the, but it was the agreement that we had way back with the planning board, and we've been doing it that way for years. So I never thought that the trees would be an issue. Those people opted out of the trees right from the beginning. And that's what she said to Heather, she came up, we don't want them, we told them that. I said, look, I've been ordered to put the trees in. I have to put the trees in. I've got no place else to put them. So they're gonna go in the easement unless Heather or some official from the town tells me I don't have to do it.
How do they opt out of trees that are in the plan?
We asked them,
But they're in the plan.
but they're on their front lawn. Some guy came out with a gun. Another guy called the cops
Come to
on
my
me.
house.
We've heard that.
Is it their front lawn or is it town?
It's town, it's, so there's a 50-foot wide street easement, okay? There's a 20-foot wide, 24-foot wide road paved, then there's curbing, then
There's
there's like a
right-of-way.
2-foot grass strip or a 1-foot grass strip, 5-foot curb, and another few feet on the other side, so it ends up being 50 feet. That's the easement. The road itself is only 24, so it looks as though that's their front yard.
Right.
And then, so you're putting trees in their yard, they don't want them. So
But
it's
but it's
just,
not actually there.
It's a
front
right-of-way.
yard.
it's not theirs, it's within the right of way.
Yeah,
But the planning board is, and I have the same problem in Holden, I mean, we were planting trees when we were trying to get the roads accepted, and half the subdivision showed up at the next planning board meeting and asked them to stop it.
So I have a question then, and I know a lot of this stuff was approved a long time ago, but if you've been doing 2 trees per lot for, what, 20, 30 years, as you mentioned?
30.
Why are there more trees in these plans? Are they older than that?
it's part of the
Or were
regs,
we-
it's part of the,
What is that, 50-foot thick?
Whenever these plans were approved, were you already doing just 2, but showing more on the plan because that was the
Well, it would
rules?
require a waiver.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
there's, what they say is, there needs to be a tree planted every 50 feet.
Mhm.
So the engineer puts them on the plan, so when the review agent, Quinn, looks at it, he says it meets the regulation. If it doesn't meet the regulation, you either need a waiver or
so
in the past.
prior to this, there had just been lots of waivers.
Yeah.
They no, it's just the way it was, they didn't enforce it.
So I guess I'm wondering why it's an issue now, like why didn't this come up a long time ago, like before?
Because
Because
of
we
what
knew
happened
from the
at the
beginning
select
that these were gonna be too many trees.
It's because of what happened at the select board meeting, last fall.
No, I mean like a long time ago, like before the road acceptance, like these. Have we not known that there would be too many trees
That
for
was the
quite
design-
some time at this point?
The subdivision regs would have been altered, and they had not been altered at the time.
I guess I'm wondering why there wasn't some sort of a waiver like a year or more ago requested, why it became like an issue of the street acceptance and then became an issue for us, and then we said, we're gonna do them, we're gonna put them in the open space, and now we're like, well, there just isn't enough space. Well, there's no more or less space than there ever was.
When the planning board had their meeting, that, you
Which
guys,
meeting?
the meeting, well, the road acceptance, last fall, when we were over there.
Yeah.
The trees didn't even come up. They came up because of the planning board, the select board made an issue that
Correct.
I hadn't planted all the trees.
Per
So
the-
they,
per the-
part
per the
of the
plan.
agreement when we put everything together, but on all prior subdivisions and prior roads in that subdivision, it's always been 2 per lot. That's just kinda like the planning board in the way we've always done it.
But it's never officially been 2 per lot.
No,
It's-
no,
we
that-
just kind of said, sure, do it.
And that's why the subdivision regs need to be altered.
Yeah.
Because right now, subdivision regs say
So-
1 tree per 50 feet.
So we never, a waiver never happened for this because the assumption was, we're just not gonna bother to do a waiver, we're just gonna plant 2 per, because
Correct.
that's what we've done.
Yep.
And the people that
Well,
opt
that's
out, opt out.
Not really how we should do things, but I guess it
Not by
is
the
how they
book.
have been.
I mean,
Okay.
you could,
Just trying to get the lay of land.
The lay of the
I'm sure
land is
there's
the
other-
subdivision regs need to be updated. That's the bottom line.
I know, I guess I'm just like, this is something, it feels like this maybe could have come up a long time ago before it became like a big thing, but here we are, so.
The best way to handle the water on the bridge is alter the subdivision regs is what we're doing in the bylaws committee.
And what about for plans that have already been approved?
I'll request waivers.
Yeah, the only plan I think that's still on the books that hasn't been built is Noble Hill. There, if I'm not mistaken, there are no other subdivisions that have.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's
Well,
stuff.
Brintnal
that's still-
Estates, but I'm saying, any new subdivisions that are coming up.
But these have been approved with, a tree every 50
50
feet,
feet,
which is
correct.
not how they're actually going to be not construct, you don't construct trees,
Put
but
in.
you know what I mean, produced.
So I guess my suggestion is with Brintnal Estates, we should probably get ahead of the game before we go to the road acceptance. And,
I'm gonna ask
If
for a
that's what
waiver
we're
on
gonna
that and a
do,
waiver
then that's
on the
what we
granite
should do
curb
in
inlets.
advance.
okay,
I'm coming in with a waiver on both those.
if there are waivers or if the plans have trees every 50 feet. So let me just, I'm sorry, help me so if the plan has trees every 50 feet, but then in reality, it's 2 per lot, and then the homeowner, and then there's a waiver not to have 2 per lot, I'm curious, could we plant those trees other places?
That's what we've done now.
Yeah.
That's what we do now?
That's what we're doing right now with these
We're
sub
trying to
three.
do. But in the
told there's
past, that's
plenty
not
of
been
Because
the
I think
case,
trees are
right?
good.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, with the not waivers, you haven't put the trees somewhere else, they just weren't planted.
We're planted, yeah.
Okay, so this is the first time that we've ever said you actually have to plant all the trees on the project.
Correct.
Wow, okay,
Yeah.
good. I mean, not good, but I understand now.
Yeah.
Just moving forward, you know.
Did I remember in an email something about you were gonna plant trees that were gonna tear up the sidewalks or something?
That
Is
was,
that
I
what
said, that's
actually
what goes-
happened?
No, I said, this is what's gonna happen when I plant those trees there.
Okay, that was just
They're
like an
eventually gonna come through-
aggressive,
They're eventually gonna come through.
okay.
Cause there's subdivisions where Lenny Gengel built, he planted the street trees in the easement.
Yeah.
And they're coming up through the sidewalk.
I mean, there's definitely, there's at least 6 or 8 different kinds of acceptable species of street trees on our
Well, that-
list, though. They
after
don't
that-
all like,
after that happened, we went into the regs and pulled out the trees that were planted in
yeah.
the.
I was gonna say, I mean, some of the ones on there definitely would not
Yes.
do that. Some of them don't even get that big, to be honest.
They put a specific tree, it's like a linden.
Well, I know, but
Or
I mean,
maybe they
but the
have to-
rules have like 6 different options of
bunch.
tree.
They had a lot more prior to,
Yeah, and some of them really are not
the ones in the
We're not
past
talking oak
had
trees
the,
for
low
everyone.
roots, which underneath the sidewalks, and that's the end of the sidewalks, which was a mess.
Yeah, no, I understand. I just, that, it's not like there's only one type of tree that's possible. There's a whole list of acceptable options. Which
Correct.
needs to be revised, but that's a different topic.
So Woodside and Arrowhead are complete. The question I've got is the 2 trees that are left on Pioneer.
That's it, but Arrowhead and Woodside are done.
No, and I checked with Kevin on that. He
Okay.
gave me,
To not have to talk about it anymore.
I know,
I
I love it.
I would
I love
move
it.
to just say,
give the
okay, it's
waiver, be
those 2
done.
trees. But for any, obviously the rules need to be updated, but for any things that are going to be going forward, the discussion needs to happen now,
Yeah.
long before we, select board, the public
Correct.
are up in arms about where the trees are, and we talk about this 600 times.
Do these people know when they're buying the houses, what the lot is eventually gonna be looking like and what was approved?
I mean,
Why
they,
not?
Why
they know
not?
where the house is going on the lot, they know they're gonna get a lawn, but they don't know.
It sounds like it would be very helpful for you to let them know that there are gonna be 2 trees or 3 trees on their lot.
Fewer guns pulled on you.
It's never been an issue, so what happens is, what we've done is, in the past, we say, look,
Whether it's been an issue or not, though, it sounds like it would be a good thing to do.
well, but let me finish, if I could. If, what we've done in the past, and it's always worked fine, we go to the homeowner and we say, we're gonna put these on your lot, so they're not next to the sidewalk, so we put them on the lot. A lot of people are happy to get them, but some people aren't. I mean, any place I build a subdivision and I plant trees, I get fights. They hate them. You know, people don't want you messing with their yard. And I asked Norm about this 25 years ago. I said, why can't we, get rid of these trees? And he said, I like to have, you cut down all the trees, I wanna have new trees put in.
Correct.
Okay, so we went, it was always an understanding, 2 per lot, put it back so it doesn't come through the sidewalk. We always did that. And, even then, when, let's say somebody wasn't home, like I said, one guy comes out with a gun, another guy calls the police. I mean, it's
I think
crazy.
So the houses are built, so, sorry, I don't,
Lauren, the solution that I wanna do when we talk tomorrow night is part of the final landscaping, and when the landscaping with the lawn is in,
Yeah.
that's when the tree goes in. Now, if the homeowner decides to cut it down, that's their call. The developers put the tree in. If they cut it down, it's not on,
yeah, I guess I
it's
was
to
wondering
plan.
why we're planting these trees after people are like already living in the houses and, I mean,
It's a
couldn't we
cleanup.
have done them
No,
before
and
that?
that's why that's part of the subdivision
update that I think needs to be put in there is when the tree goes in, trees
Yeah.
go in.
Yeah.
And again, I believe to what we've done forever, it's 2 per lot, not 1 every 50 feet. Again, this is all updates. We're having the advantage of being able to update the subdivision regs, which hasn't been done in 10, 15 years. So part of that update would be the trees have to go in as part of the final landscaping. So we're not in this situation dealing with it, putting it in at the last. And after that landscaping, the trees are there, it's accounted for. Kevin will do that as part of his walkthrough. If the homeowners cut down all those trees, there's nothing we can do about it. They've been, no, unless it's in the right of way,
How do
then that's a
you-
whole different situation.
How do you decide which species to put in, and would people have any options to say, I would want one that's larger or smaller?
It's on the plan and it's spec.
Oh, the species is on the plan?
Species is
Okay.
spec, and it tells you how big the.
Okay.
But they don't know about the trees coming in though, the homeowner.
They don't know that there's a curbing going on, they don't know
But they
any of
could,
that.
they could choose
Some
a
houses have
smaller tree, a
sidewalks, some
taller
don't.
tree,
Yeah, I guess
a
I'm just
bushy
wondering,
tree.
again,
No, they can't choose, not on this, it's spec'd, Alex, it's spec'd.
They
You
order
have
them
to
ahead
do
of
this, it
time.
has to have this big
Well,
of
no,
a.
but yeah, but the plan has like 6 different options and certain sizes and things, and I guess I'm wondering, does the plan literally say this entire subdivision is going to be this kind of tree, or it just has to be one of these options every
They
50
usually,
feet?
if I remember right, the spec for the tree is on the plan when
Yeah,
it's
they pick
approved.
one, the engineer picks one.
The engineer
your
picks one
regulations.
kind of tree.
And then he
Okay.
says, and what they have is a cross section on the plan, it shows the road, it shows
Yep.
the sidewalk, it shows the curbing, and it shows the trees. And it tells you how far apart to put them and where to put them and all that stuff.
Okay.
So, that's.
That's part of our, that would be, if we wanted to change anything, that would be part of our review in the definitive plan. If we wanted something different, we would have to make those comments in the definitive plan and then work out with the developer, okay, 6 are going here, 6 are,
Yeah.
but that's before anybody buys property.
Yeah, no, I know, I'm just trying to think of a way where like we could still get as many trees as we can, but not say you have to have 2 red oaks in your front yard, like you can
They're gonna
have,
be
like a lindenberry, you can have a
600
whatever.
feet of trees in there.
I realize that that's not necessarily the most reasonable of options, but I'm just
Yeah.
trying to think if there's any way around.
Well,
I don't know, just not
a
having
very
the
good
trees.
point, that if these trees are put in the right of way, the homeowner doesn't have really the option to cut them down until he goes through the tree
I
board,
know,
which
but I
is,
mean,
correct.
you wanna balance pissing people off and
Yeah.
building things the way they should be and having the right number of trees.
Well,
Do you, how many people do you want showing up at our meetings?
Here's, here's what I would say, or go
I
ahead,
got a
Keith.
comment, I got
No,
too
go ahead,
many,
Keith.
cause I love this topic. I think I can go for days.
You wanna keep talking about the trees?
I would-
well, let's,
I would
I'll try
say
not to,
this,
but-
when it comes to the 2 trees, I think the town is already raw enough, irritated enough with the officials to leave that one alone and
that's what I
not
was gonna
push
ask
it.
for,
Yes.
Alex.
But this is the second time that I can remember that we have been put in between the board and the developer. And I remember before, when it came to this issue with the select board, all the public officials were in the middle. And I feel like if this whole situation is handled before the house is even sold, they know what they're getting into. They can't then all of a sudden go, oh my God, where did that tree come from? Because that is a covenant, that is a bond that is entered into between the town and the developer. You're allowed to do things on this land that wouldn't necessarily be allowed elsewhere. This is what we want you to do. And then when you don't follow through with that, it's a slap in the face to what already exists in the town, the people that have lived in the town and been elected onto the boards and what they've decided they want to do, in my
Let me
opinion.
ask you a question.
Oh, go ahead.
That plan for that subdivision, when somebody buys a piece of property, that development is access to the public, so anybody buying a piece of property could look at that plan and see what they're getting, correct?
Well, it's not even that. First of all, it's not on their property. You went past the whole point. The trees are not to be planted on the customer's property. They're in the street easement. What
Yeah.
goes on in that street has nothing to do with my customer, nothing. They get it, and that's all there is to it, unless the planning board says they don't have to have it. That's the only way I can build that street. and make it according to the plans unless there is a waiver. So we're trying to make, I'm not gonna tell the customer that the sewer line's going over here and the water line's going over here.
They're never gonna see that stuff. They're gonna see a tree.
Yeah, they're gonna see a tree, but it's not in their yard, it's in the street easement. Now, what we've done all these years is I've said to the customers, we're gonna give, there's 2 trees per lot. Do you want them? If you do, we're gonna put them on your land because they're gonna grow into the sidewalk if we don't. And it's always been fine. This issue came up, but I don't need to tell the customer what is in the easement. It's not part of my deal. They own to the street easement. That's it. That's their property. The rest of it is part of the street. And by the way, the plans are on record. I mean,
That's what I was getting.
so I mean, if they really wanted to go look at them, they could.
But the plans are almost irrelevant, cause there's way more trees in the plan.
The
Right.
trees are on the plan. They're crazy number of trees, yeah.
I mean, I would think that trees are good for property value, like, I don't think people wanna move into a development that is just barren, right? Like, so,
You don't think so,
That,
but.
yeah, that's a 60, that's a 50-50 question, cause
Yeah.
some, just like the, I've got grass and that's it. I mow the
Lots
grass
of
and I don't worry about it.
windows.
Other people, to Alex's point, like trees, like to have, something out
buffers.
there, buffers.
buffers.
It's, I mean, in the years I've seen on the board, I've seen people like the young lady over at Arrowhead. If you can give me 6 trees, I'll take
Galen.
6 trees on my property.
Yeah.
Then there's the flip side of, don't even come on my property, which legitimately, to Clee's point, that easement area or right-of-way area is owned by the DPW, not by the, it's on their plan that their property goes to the street. Just like anybody, myself, my property goes right up to Palmagussit, but there's a 10 or 15-foot easement that if I put anything out there, understand if the DPW wants to take it down, they by right can do anything they want.
Right.
So, I think we're trying to address that in the subdivision bylaw subcommittee by cleaning it up. Cause to Lauren's point, it hasn't been cleaned up, it needs to be cleaned up. So, but in this case, I almost would ask the developer, just give me a waiver for 2 trees and let's move on and be done with this.
By the way, that's de minimis, you guys can just make a motion. That's a de minimis change, 2 trees out of 70,000. It's sincerely a de minimis change. You don't need a waiver for
Oh,
it.
it's a number. But I guess I'm looking for, cause I want Tamika to go back to Heather and go, problem solved. Don't get any more phone calls, cause they had a lot of phone calls if I'm not mistaken.
I mentioned earlier, I love this topic, I got 5 things to say. And all of them you can comment on too, but I'm gonna go through them. We designed these subdivisions with the developer, these plans exist through the subdivision regulations, it's an intent on a certain look. I know, I'm happy it's one neighbor or not, a household that just happens to not want trees. I don't wanna set a precedent that they can all come in and just say, oh, we're designing this subdivision for you. I know they don't think they're thinking that way, but in the end, that's what they're doing. They're altering an intent that
Already been approved.
a board in town is trying to achieve for essentially when you just drive through a neighborhood. It's not even, I get it's their property. Here in my car, I can drive and, it's a nice look. So it would drive me crazy, and I hope it would drive a lot of people on a planning board crazy if say, for example, every person in Pioneer Circle didn't want a tree. And to Alex's point, we were put in a place where this street wouldn't be accepted if it didn't have a requirement during the last run through of a street acceptance, particularly which one. So, and then it comes back to you, cause it's like a do or do not, but we're asking you, we've been told to tell you that this is happening. We had neighbors come to meetings upset about their possible street acceptance. And it hinged on all these points that the select board brought to us because they wanted to see the plan completed. So when a bunch of neighbors come and they say, we want our road accepted. And then all of a sudden, I'm happy it's just one neighbor in this neighborhood. But I mean, if all of them were like, we don't want street trees, well, it's like, you're too late. This was a topic from a long ago. For example, you did mention it's in the easement. If they go out and cut something, I'm not gonna say there should be a fine.
There is.
There is actually.
Good, good. You know, go out and be that type of person, cut a tree down, you know, go for it. You know, it's not a good thing. Not only are they, say we even put it in, but then they cut it down. I mean, it's again altering the intent of an artistic approach to reestablishing land for homeowners, really. I get it if they're not yard people, they're never gonna plant flowers, they're that type of person, I get it. A tree may seem very difficult to manage. The neighbors' trees, they're gonna blow leaves in your yard. You know, if you wanna come and say, I don't want leaves in my yard, well, guess what? They come from everywhere. The leaves I clean up are not leaves that I create on my property. It's not gonna happen, so, the easement thing, I think we should at least come to, you know, without just run-on sentence this whole thing. You know, maybe try to get a height reduction on whatever species, so people don't have towering Norwegian maples in the yard, you know, it can be daunting, you know, it's a lot different, and like you said, they get crowded if you do dense them up too much. And it's good we're talking about planning them ahead of time. I would hate to set the precedent or have people think they can just like, oh, I don't want a tree. I do like that they're in the easement. I don't like the idea that if they're massive trees, someday they're gonna rip up the sidewalk, cause an issue. If the town technically owns that sidewalk, it's just gonna be a repaving issue, which is what it is. Probably 20 years from now, problems like
You
that
still gotta
happen.
you gotta cut the tree and pop the stump, because
Yeah, you're gonna kill the tree anyway, so that stinks too. And then,
Could I
you know,
just add,
yeah,
if you
point on
that?
yeah, come on in. Yeah.
And again, this is all just stupid new person
Sure.
questions. Is there ever a requirement or an option to not, like where it makes sense to not clear cut a development and keep trees that are in place? Instead of like, I mean, why are we putting new trees in when we're ripping down like 90% of all the trees, 100% of all the trees to build houses? I mean, I've seen a lot of developments where like only the lots are cleared out, and that way roots aren't coming up, roots are established.
I think in our
Roads can be
new
paved.
bylaws, or our new subdivision rules and regs, they specify tree sizes that can be removed outside of like the building envelope. And it protects trees of a certain size. It might be 12 inches, but it might be smaller than that.
if I can help you with that. So in this town, and in a lot of the towns around, very hilly. And the planning board has regulations, you can't go over 8% for your road pitch. Now, when you do that, go down to Hilltop Estates and look at the way the sides of the road go. You can't, if you push a lot of fill, or if you have cuts and fills, and you fill around the tree, it kills it. So you have to cut so many trees in order just to build the road. So that's what happens, that's why, they get built. And let me say this, people come to the country because they like trees, and I like to keep the trees if I can. So we cut as little as possible, but it just, with the cuts and fills and the way the subdivision rules and regulations are, you just can't save them.
My other comment to add to it, if possible. For example, Pioneer Circle, it's a short road with cul-de-sac. Does that easement stay at 10 feet around the whole cul-de-sac, or does it tighten up?
No, it stays the same.
Stays.
Now, I noticed
All the
those-
roads aren't that way, Keith,
Yeah.
but the new stuff has got an easement that's balanced
Yeah,
from the plans.
engineered. I know those front yards, they're shorter front yards, right? On those, how
open space subdivisions say there's a 20-foot front yard setback.
Setback, 20 feet.
Now, the regular subdivision regs are 30-foot front yard setbacks. Because the lots are smaller than
I know,
open space, so
yeah.
we keep those closer to the road. We try to keep them back a little bit, but we keep those closer to the road.
I can see how people with a short front yard may feel overwhelmed with a tree that could get to a large size and a dense, the potential of over, too many trees. Main thing too is a balance would be nice. Maybe you can't, maybe we gotta, obviously we're gonna work on these regs for it. But a balanced look would be the best, maybe it's possible someone gets, a different lottery ticket, straw polled, this yard has to have a tree, we're gonna balance it. It's only so many feet around this cul-de-sac, we're gonna do just 4 trees at the max, and those are things down the road that would be nice. So then, I don't know, it's just a look, you drive in a lot of these neighborhoods, and we hate to be, obviously you can get disease and a tree dies, maybe someone never plants it back up, I get it, but, like you said, they're clear cut, it's very obvious, there's almost, until you hit their backyard, or wherever the depth of their backyard is, that's where you're getting trees back, but we've had a lot of water runoff, issues, and they help a little bit, they're not, it's not as good as having, an A&R lot where you cut into woods a little differently and stuff like that, but, I think that's where I'm at least mentally.
But it's gotta aesthetically look good.
Yeah.
So if you got all those trees, I think it's too much.
Well,
So
that's,
if
a
you
balance.
if you cut it back a little bit and say, like in Charlton, I remember we did Lamb's Pond Road, and they, the town planner told the customers, look, you're getting the trees. I don't care, complain all you want, the developer's putting the trees in, that's it. And I did, and that's what they, but it was more aesthetic than, one every 50
Not a
feet,
minimum,
that's a
just,
lot.
just hit this number, hit this quota.
Yeah, and so if you go down there, we got one row in the open space and then another row. Now, those trees are gonna kill each other, kind of trying to get grow. It looks terrible. We did it, you wanted it done, we did as much as we could. There's a lot of people down there, if you look, that we don't have trees in their yard, because we were able to put them in, like Norm mentioned, putting them in that road where it was open in the front there, coming in. We did that, we did it the best we could, but, we never had an issue with trees before, it's never come up. We never had an issue with the select board like that before, it never came up.
Yeah.
I mean, if the planning board wrote them a letter and said, we approve these, then the select board went back and read the same things that you guys did, so that's what caused the problem with the trees, was the select board getting involved in the planning board's business, I think, more than anything.
Well, I wanna get through this Pioneer thing, so
Yes.
we can get, we're
Yeah.
going back and forth in design, and that's more for
Yeah.
the
That's
update.
fine.
No, and
Get
your
it
comments,
out.
Keith, are good, don't get me wrong. No,
Yeah,
they're good.
good.
Bring them tomorrow night, please.
Yeah.
But I think I made a suggestion, this is the email I wrote to Heather, and I think I copied everybody on it. Suggestion, if the resident on Pioneer Circle doesn't want the trees as specified in the design, we deduct those from the total of the plan, document it as an I said minor modification of the subdivision plan, and there's a new total, and that's what's at Pioneer Circle right now, which in this case would be 2 trees.
Can
We
I
deduct
ask,
2.
there's a Pioneer Circle comes off Woodside, off of Main Street, right? There's a wedge, is there any trees in that wedge?
About 100. I planted, that's where I put a lot of them.
But right at Pioneer off
Yes.
of Woodside.
Yep.
And
Go
that
take a look.
And that goes into the unfinished,
Correct.
okay.
Yeah,
I
there's
haven't
like,
been-
literally, there's 7 or 8 trees in there.
Okay, that's a good spot for them.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if we need to put 2 there, you can put them, but if they are there, that's fine.
I just wanna put a fork in this,
And I'm okay with what you
but I
said.
need the board,
Yeah, well,
so.
Let's fork it.
Yep,
Yeah.
I need a motion, cause this is something we want, cause
Do we move to have you send, what's the motion, I guess?
a motion would be to deduct 2 trees from the 38 that's required on Pioneer Circle to bring it to 36. And, that will be reflected upon the, as-built or updated as-built plan of, Bryce Lemon Estates.
So moved.
Okay? I hate
I'll second that.
And then Tamika, if you could let Heather know that that is, and if, I don't have any communication with the resident, but let them
I have
know.
your information, so I'll reach out just to let them know
Okay.
if we
Okay.
try to go on this one.
Cause I know the, what caused this was the two holes in the front, in the easement area that started this. So,
Yeah.
again, this was June 11th when this started, after our meeting, after our last meeting. So I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All right, since everybody's here, don't wanna do roll call, so I'll just take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, none, so Tamika 4-0. All I'd ask, Clea, is whoever's doing your updated drawing for Pioneer Circle, could they deduct 2 trees and send that to Kevin Quinn?
I don't think the trees go on the, he just counted them from the
Okay.
plan. They're not on the as-built, the as-built is more for the water sewer and
Then
stuff
I'd
like
ask
that.
Tamika, could you send Kevin an email and just tell him that on Pioneer Circle, where I think, and I apologize if I'm wrong, but there was 38 trees needed, and we've gone to 36. So consider that checklist off. And all 3 roads that are required trees are complete. I will say 5 is complete, although there's a lot of discussion that's gonna happen tomorrow night on this. Cause I think there's a lot of updates that need to be done to the
Regs.
regs. Yeah. All right, let's move on to number 6. There was an email out to me, and I was trying to find that you had
There's no
sent.
meeting packet this time.
There was a meeting packet,
I
but it
couldn't
didn't
find
have.
it.
It's on, it was, the
I
meeting
went on
packet
the
was
thing and
there.
I clicked on it and it didn't have today's date. And there, I couldn't find it.
Was there one with today's date, but when you click the link, it didn't open?
No, there wasn't one with today's date, at least a few hours ago when I looked.
And that was my
I'll
bad.
let you know.
No.
forgot
I
to
went,
post
I was
it.
at Eversource and I went to the packets, clicked on it and printed it out,
Oh,
cause
so it is.
off
I
the
didn't see it.
website, yeah.
I couldn't find it.
It was 6:23, yeah, no, because I can't upload it onto my on my company laptop, so I printed it from the web.
Okay.
So,
You know,
and
it's in alphabetical order, not chronological, so it's.
June
up-
is down
it's-
below.
It's
Well,
up,
maybe that's
it's
why. I
up
looked at
above
the
May and
top.
March,
Maybe
yeah.
I missed
I
it,
think it
sorry.
depends on everybody's screen, cause on my side, it starts with the most recent, but maybe how somebody has it set up, it could flip it the other way.
How it's
I was gonna
sorted.
say, I thought
It
that
does
I
have a
put it on
display on.
They're there.
Yep.
Okay.
There
All
they
right,
go.
so we had another email from 6/9. And this included pictures, which I don't have.
There are a bunch of pictures. It's
Yeah.
hard to, at least I thought it was kind of hard to kind of get your bearings with the different pictures. But if you take a look, there is a resident in a red house that is directly across from where Hilltop Estates is.
Yes, that's the one that goes down,
Correct.
property drops
And
down.
there's a stone wall that goes in front of that house and continued on that has been demolished.
So
It
it's only-
doesn't look like much when you're on the street, but if you go down onto the side of the road, you can see it's a substantial 2-foot wall, maybe a foot, 2 feet deep. It's a good substantial wall if you look at the pictures.
But it's
And
only-
it's demolished in some
And
areas.
it's on the opposite side of Hilltop.
Correct.
Okay. That's where I couldn't get my bearings on the pictures that
Yeah.
you'd sent in. Okay.
What date is it?
So-
That email? Do you have
It's,
it on?
The pictures were from the 4th,
yeah, from June 4th.
from Tamika.
June 4th, okay, thank you.
So, can I ask a question, Tim?
Just,
Okay, I'll hold.
one quick second.
Yep.
Alex, do you have any more?
Pictures?
No. It's across, I got my bearings. That's why I couldn't get my bearings when I was looking at this.
So you can see it's torn down and then there's a space where it's intact and then it's torn down again from where they pushed it over to do, I believe, the level spreader and some of that stuff down there. And then the fill, to your point of, I believe you said if you fill around the tree, it kills it. All the stone wall and all that fill was pushed down up against all those trees that are 20 feet down. They bulldozed the whole thing and just pushed it down there. You can see the piles of rocks.
All right. So, now I see what you're talking about. See, when I drove it, I was looking over on the hilltop side. And I couldn't see anything.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
That was my loss, so that's,
I see it.
Did you walk
Yeah,
down
I
into
know
the
that.
hill?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what the further
Yeah.
pile pictures are?
Yeah.
so, does anybody else on the board have any comments before I recognize Mr. Blair?
Be good to go walk up there, I know we've got a lot of pictures, but it'd be
Yeah.
good to go walk up there with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll ask, go ahead.
Yep.
So, you do know that that stone wall is on my property.
Okay, it says historic scenic stone wall.
It's on my property.
The one across,
Okay.
So we've already determined in this board, after the last time you fined me for something that was wrong, the stone walls are on my property. Now, that plan was approved by the planning board. I put a level spreader in. Now, the gentleman's next door, his fence is on my property, but I saved it. I didn't have to move it for him. I kept it, I did the best I could to keep it. So the point is, the stone wall's on my property. So I don't know what you said in the email, but I didn't do anything wrong, number one. Number two, it's intended. I have to do the work. It's approved. So the stone wall comes down and it's on my property anyway. What'd I do wrong? Anybody? Help me out here.
I'm
I
asking,
mean, I would just think that there is a aesthetic of maintaining, like, I don't know.
let me ask a question, Clay.
I don't know if we're in the
After
business
all the
of just, like,
construction's
cleaning-
done,
ripping up the entire town for, you know. But, I mean, if
Well-
a stone wall could be kept, like, for instance, I have two old wells on the edge of my like, we didn't, like, there's something aesthetically pleasing to like an old, but like, I wouldn't just like bulldoze them over. Like, there's something historic about
I think this is another case of rules and regulations and
Yeah.
bylaws that need to be updated.
You can't
because
look
we've-
back.
Because
Right.
we've had this conversation before and the outcome, I think unfortunate, but the outcome
Is the
was
outcome.
that we don't, there's nothing that's enforceable for us in a situation like this where it's not within the roadway. I don't like it. And I don't think it's, within sort of the spirit of being on a scenic road, but that's the reality at the moment, unfortunately, so
Let me go
I
into
guess.
my negotiation mode. After you're done with the building, can you do some restoration to clean that mess up that I see right now?
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna build a house on that lot, number one. It's a house lot, number one.
Yeah,
If
It's a very steep house lot.
I know, and you see the stuff I build on, I can build on anything.
Yeah, it's
I
a
can build on
nightmare.
anything, but that's beside the point. First of all, you're telling me I tore down something that was on my property, so that,
we'll
that's-
get past that,
that's
cause
number one.
Lauren's got a great point, we don't have any authority.
We don't have
prove
any
that.
authority, I know, but you're beating me up over it,
asking.
number one. And if I need to clean something up, you tell me what you want cleaned up. But let me say this, you can't restore the stone wall because you can't maintain the drainage. That level spreader's gotta be clean, the drainage comes over there. There's nothing you can do about that entrance to that level, where that level spreader is. The stone wall had to come down, on my property anyway, it doesn't matter. And it was intended to by the planning board when you approved it.
Is it HOA's property?
No, there's no HOA up
No,
there.
but who owns the level spread?
The HOA is up there.
Oh, you mean,
Big time HOA on that
Yeah.
one,
Yeah,
that's a
no,
private
They have
road.
the level
They need
spreader, the
access to-
separator, the.
that's all, I was thinking on the opposite
I
side.
know you have a lot etched out across the street.
Yeah.
That's obviously larger than the level spreader.
Yeah.
But
There's an
that's
easement
gonna
on
be
there.
theirs.
Yeah, that would belong to, there's an easement, so it belongs to the subdivision.
The point being that we did go through all this before, and you're correct. Our bylaw needs work. We worked with you on that. We just worked with you on the trees. You know what the bylaw says, and yet you don't say a word to us. You just go and bulldoze it.
What are you talking about? It's intended to be
He has to
bulldozed.
put- he
The
has to
planning board approved the plan. What am I gonna do? Come back and say, hey, you guys approved this, so now I'm gonna do it? I already did that. Kevin Quinn's out there. I mean,
We just got into a huge thing about this 6 months ago, saying, hey, should I dismantle it or can I go ahead and bulldoze this?
No, and
Would
you
have
guys
been a good
figured out that it's
question.
on my property and I can do whatever I want with it. And by the way, I restored it because I thought I had to, but it came out exactly what you guys wanted on
Not
the
even
last one.
close.
The fact of the matter is, I know on this one, I know better. It's on my property, I can do what I want. And I didn't do anything that was unintended. It was all intentional on the plan.
Can I ask another question that I think we talked about with the last one, is when we have the initial plans, are stone walls on those? Cause I think the
Yes.
answer was the one that we had the whole situation with before was not. Wasn't it?
It was
a
on there, but it
portion
was-
that didn't have it. There was some plan that didn't have it.
But on the plans that we approve for how it's all gonna be constructed, are they on there? Like,
I'd have to
was
look.
the board aware that it was
were.
there and that would have to be removed in order to do the things that we said he could do?
Should
I guess
we-
is my
Should
question.
we prep the whole plan knowing a stone wall will get removed?
Yes, so I guess that's part of my moving forward situation, is that if that's not already part of the things that we look at, I'm not saying we can tell him to leave it or not, but I think it would be good for us in the future. Again, even if all we're doing is heading off issues before they become issues, by saying, we acknowledge that there's a stone wall here, and we know that it's beautiful, or maybe not, I don't know, and it's part of the historic road or scenic road, but it's gonna have to go if we're gonna approve this plan. Like, at least acknowledging that up front, I think would save us from a lot of this kind of stuff, which is really not that much fun.
No.
Well, it's not necessary either, Lauren.
Yep,
It's not necessary. The wall, it was intended to come down. It's on my property.
I guess the question is, was it intended by the planning board to come down, or was it intended by you to come down in order to enact the plan of the planning board? And that's not a question to you, that's a statement to the board. So I understand that to do what had been planned, it would need to go. I'm just not sure, because I wasn't here, whether the planning board was sort of fully aware,
I'd have to look,
informed.
honestly, I'd have to look at the plans. I can't remember, and I don't wanna comment on something I'm not sure of.
So I think if we can have it be part of the process moving forward,
I agree.
So
let's deal with things before they become situations as much as we can.
the stormwater management, if I can.
Go ahead.
May I? The stormwater management on that plan was very difficult. And I don't know if you guys remember, Kevin
Bill
Quinn
Kevin had a nightmare
spent
with
a
it.
long time, and that's how we ended up making it work, was letting the drainage run across the street, because it's coming down a pretty big steep hill right there. And that's the only place there's catch basins on there. Up the top, it's all just swales and it goes into ponds and it collects the water pretty well. But when you get across the street, he made us put that, you've gotta take the energy out of the water.
He wanted to slow the water down so it
You
wouldn't
have to.
overflow that, cause there's a drop off there into his property, and the idea was not to have a waterfall coming over the top of
Well,
it.
with a road, it would make a river.
Yeah,
I mean, I agree 100% with where you're coming from. Like, it is what it is. Like, it sounds like a really complicated build and a lot of challenges, like, right, to the point where I would question why we even approve a subdivision on that road in the first place. So, it's in the past.
I
It
can
is what
answer
it
your
is.
question.
No,
It seems
I
like
don't
a
wanna go to the past.
ridiculous, you know.
No,
question.
If you said, why do you approve a subdivision? So are you an associate member now, sir?
yes.
Okay, so.
I'm sorry, Clea, this is John
He
Wambach.
introduced
myself when I walked
in. But so, the planning board rules and regs, the planning board has a set of rules and regs. If we meet the rules and regs, they must approve, that's the law. If we meet the rules and regs, they must approve. And if we don't, if we ask for a waiver and they give us a waiver, then we get approval.
But
The
we write the
fact
rules
is-
and regs.
Yes.
Yeah, right, we can change the rules
Correct.
and regs.
Correct.
You guys
And
can
the
change the
waivers.
rules and regs, but
the
that's
other-
the way it works.
The other thing, John, is a lot of times, and Hilltop's a perfect example, is that Blair Development came in, and I don't remember the exact number, but I'm gonna throw it out there, like 32 waivers. And Mr. Williams, who was on the board at the time, said, ain't no frickin' way I'm approving this. So Marilyn and I, on the side, Marilyn Sidoti, she was on the board at the time, spent countless hours with the developer trying to work together and negotiate down those waivers and make this subdivision doable. And we came to an agreement. And then from there, the board agreed that that would work, and we moved forward.
Yeah.
So there was give and take, there was negotiation at a time.
Sure,
And that's-
it's not about, and I don't wanna drag out the meeting, I don't wanna like litigate the past or
Yeah.
anything. It's just, I'm hearing from you, it sounds like there's a lot of complications and a lot of back and forth and yeah, I mean, it's just.
I think the answer to number 6 is, from now on, there needs to be more of a depth dive into outside, but in the past, my experience is typically all stone walls, anything that's associated with the property is on the plans.
Okay.
I can't tell you for 100% fact that it was on this one, cause I don't remember, but past, typically, we had stone walls, we even had cart paths that were there that we didn't know about that were on the plans. In fact, one of them actually was available to put houses in as A&R because the cart path had existed for a long time.
Was Dick just adding things that he knew were there, but nobody else knew were there?
No,
Used to be a
this
cart
actually
path.
was, Mr. Carizzi was in, and we found out that official like cart paths
Yeah.
can be considered a road that can be considered part of A&R by the state.
Jeez.
We didn't know that at the time,
That's good to
learned
know.
it, yeah.
We got a
So,
few.
but that's all knowledge that the board members agreed, and at the same time, Dave George had agreed upon, they're not wrong.
Yeah.
Who was our planner at the time, so I think the answer to number 7, or number 6 is, yes, it happened, and I don't see a way that we can enforce anything, but I think the answer for the board is, next round, this comes up either on an A&R with a stone wall or something else, we need to take a deep look at this and ask questions up front, everybody.
And I mean, there's only how many? 6 scenic roads?
Yeah, that's it.
So the bylaw as it stands now, we're only talking about stone walls on those 6 roads.
Correct.
I mean,
If
could
we
we talk
apply
about
this
stone walls in
law.
other places? Yes. Should we?
Right.
Yes. But as it stands now, it's only
Scenic road
those 6
bylaw,
roads.
yeah.
So
That
it's not
has
even
the
like a
enforcement.
huge,
Yeah,
There's
and
not
that's,
that many
and that's
places.
where we're gonna have to have interaction with the historical commission, cause it's just not, planning board, it's a zoning
right.
bylaw, but we've always worked with the historical commission to make sure that it's, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, to Mr. Blair's thing, there's holes in this bylaw that needs to be fixed.
I do
Go
wanna
ahead.
make one more comment. The reason this is on here is somebody accused me of something. I didn't, like I said, I didn't see any letter or anything like that, but
No, it was
I didn't see the
brought
meeting
to
packet, so-
an email that came in, and I wanted to put it on the, agenda to discuss among the board members and see what we do. So the answer is, it's on the agenda, it's on your property, we can't do anything about it. The solution for the board is, down the road, we need to take a deeper look at the drawings to make sure if there is something on there, we can question it and discuss it, not just with you, but with any developer.
Well, how about asking whoever wrote the letter to not accuse me of things that aren't true?
It's a question, I'm gonna take it as a question of something that potentially was wrong. I'm not gonna.
Question? Well, I don't know
Yeah.
what the letter said, but I don't know why you put it on, why you took the time. It's obvious it had nothing to do, I did nothing wrong, obvious.
And in this board, that's why I put it on there, so we could discuss it and actually come to a resolution, which there is nothing wrong with it. But there is something came out of it that the board has to, down the road, take a look at these and move forward. So
Maybe,
I don't
but-
consider anything that you've done wrong at this point.
Well,
I
whoever
don't-
wrote the letter should retract it. kinda
It was someone who said, hey, there's a stone wall that was destroyed. Is this an issue?
It's a
Planning
concern,
board?
yeah. And we take concerns in all the time.
I mean,
If I go, I'll go home and get, I'll get the packet and I'll read it, but it sounds to me like, there's some accusations made.
There's the library being sealed off, and we could use it downstairs, but anyhow.
I'm gonna shut the door.
All right,
No, we can't, because open meeting, we're not allowed to shut doors.
Okay.
My quick comment, I'm so sorry,
No, keep, you're on the board.
comment, if the rest of the wall is probably gonna come down at some point. just saying it a year ahead of time, 2 years ahead of time, cause you're gonna build a house there, so more of the wall is gonna remove. Maybe we could ask neighbors if they want stones in their front yard, or if they want, some people want these stones, instead of maybe pushing them into fill, just a chance. Because I imagine you're gonna have to dump dirt here to make a lot someday.
Well, yeah, but Keith, we, like, on that lot 9 that these guys were talking about,
Yeah.
we put the wall back, they just didn't like it.
No, I know,
You
and
know,
this,
so when we intend to put the wall
I
back.
guess I'm talking about the one with levels, the level spread.
Yeah.
If you're gonna put a whole lot there, you think you're gonna put the wall back?
We always do,
Okay.
but it just wasn't to their satisfaction.
Yeah.
Let me
You
ask,
know, I'm just pointing over here, but it wasn't to Historic Commission's satisfaction. So, but we did a wall, and in fact, Norm was one by, he said, yeah, I thought it looked pretty good,
Yeah.
but it did.
Let me
ask you a
Apparently
question.
nobody liked it.
on the property that we're talking about now, the level spreaders there, got that.
Yeah.
Any intent of taking more wall down would be for a driveway, and that would be it, correct?
Yeah, but sometimes, here's the
A lot of
problem,
dirt there.
you gotta back trucks in there, cause
And
there's a
everything
lot of
else,
fill
take
in
it
there,
off.
so the wall's gonna have to come down. But I'll put it back, and I wanna put it back, I mean, it gives aesthetic value. That
I'm
lot
fine with
9
that.
looks nice, it looks nice when you come up the road, you got a nice stone wall there.
Clea, it's in the minutes, so I don't need any more.
Yeah, I'm
It's in the
good.
minutes, the wall's coming back, I think it's a dead point.
But
Let's
not
mo-
where the level spreader is, it can't.
Yeah.
I get that, because that's part of Quinn's,
Yeah.
storm management,
I'll
so.
put as much of it back as I can.
My short comment would be if you can save the stones, cause I know it's a big sticking point. If we can kinda decide where those stones go, if you can come to the board possibly to tell us when it happens. I'm saying it at a meeting, I hope we can get there. And my only comment would be, I mean, if you leveled that whole yard, that would be incredible to the road level, but I mean,
Oh, no.
if you look at it, I mean, I gotta say, I mean, you'd have to potentially put a guardrail in. I know there's not a lot of guardrails in town, but I mean, at what point do we run the risk of someone just driving off that road into a
Kids
house?
on e-bikes.
Well, yeah, that'd be cool if you could
we-
do like a 360 on
That's.
it. But I'm saying like cars, like you could, someone who slips driving, that, you know, I mean, the stone wall is keeping them guttered into the road.
We had somebody who went off
You-
that road last week and took out a telephone pole.
Well, yeah, I mean, imagine if you go right into that house, so I mean, just in a reference, I don't know where that house is going, but I mean, without something to keep them in the road, I mean,
That's
just in case you thought, oh, let's not do a
I'll answer for what you're gonna say. Anything with the road or updating it, because it's a town road, is on Chris Kolosky, it's not on the developer. So I know what you're asking for.
Yeah, I just look at it and I'm like,
We as
We're
a
gonna
board would have
find
to
out
ask
that.
Chris, can you take a look at that and see if there's a need?
yeah, okay.
Because we couldn't force the developer to put up a guardrail on a town road. Unless it was part of the original negotiations of the.
On the plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's nothing.
That's
there.
already approved, it's.
No, I know.
And that's why I didn't wanna go down that path, cause this is a Chris
I'm just like
Kolosky
future
question.
looking at it, I was like, man, I don't wanna drive that road and go into that person's yard for sure.
Alright, I
Yeah,
think,
okay.
unless there's more discussion, this fork is in this one. Let's move on to number 7. Constructions traffic. There was discussion that came up, let me get this correct, I don't wanna have this wrong. Get out of the pictures, back here. Excavators, tracks going across Grizzly to Hilltop.
First of all,
This is some, based on this email, I am not an expert on construction traffic. This is one to Chris I'd have to ask, cause I do know from my days of working with boilers, we were allowed to take equipment across roads, we just couldn't run them down roads for X amount, so I'd really wanna ask Chris, what, is there something that he needs to get involved with, because it's his road, and if the excavators or construction devices are ruining his roads, I need him to be the guy that steps into that. That's my comment, I'll leave it up for the board for anything else.
anybody, is it definitely an excavator track? Did anybody see?
Yeah.
So here's the thing,
If you need
if
pictures.
there's guys doing that, call the cops.
Well, I would rather have Chris handle it, cause it's his
Well,
road.
Chris, I don't, but that's got nothing to do with, I thought that might have had something to do with me, that's got nothing to do with me. If somebody's running an excavator up and down a road, call the cops. I mean, that's not right.
Yeah, and they're gonna say, don't go in the road or we'll be back, right?
And
That's,
then they won't go in the road.
yeah, now they know, but there's definitely, they got photos. I don't know where they're going, but maybe they had a guy wants to get loaded down the road, doesn't wanna drive all the way up, maybe that's why. Could be a number of things,
I've
I think
never
the
seen him
answer
do-
to
I
that
haven't
is-
seen him do it,
yeah,
I haven't.
no, I know.
I
But
have.
Tamika.
you saw
can you-
an excavator on the road?
Yeah, I've seen the excavator, I've seen the truck that pivots in the center. Seen
Like I
that one
said-
going up and down the road.
Well, that's probably, that one's probably okay, but not an excavator. So
Some of
call
it's
the
like-
cops, I mean, if the guy's running his excavator up and down the road, call the cops. I don't
I
care.
think to handle this is, can you throw, or me, I don't care who, send an email to Chris and say there's been some construction traffic using Brintnal as a throughway? Can you give us some, what's the word I'm looking for, some
Guidance?
guidance? Yes, thank you, God, you're brilliant. Guidance on what should be done. Should individual residents contact him or contact, to Clee's point, the police? Cause I don't believe you should be running, now Chris runs what's the word I'm looking for?
Graders.
Graders up and down.
Yeah,
But
graders,
he's a
front loaders, all that
DPW
stuff,
and
yeah.
that's his call to do that.
Yeah, and I think I think it's distinguishable from other
Correct.
vehicles.
He's not gonna take a tracked vehicle up and down Brintnal.
I just, again, a really dumb question. Who are we calling the police on?
It would be
Who's
the,
doing the
it'd be the
construction on the
operator,
street?
it'd be the operator of the excavator, cause that's the individual that is violating the law.
Who's excavating on Brintnal?
No one.
Titan
They're
construction.
they're using it for driving it down the road.
Aren't they
They're coming
going to the
from
construction
Grizzly
site?
and that construction site and going up Brintnal.
Right.
So it's between Brintnell and Hilltop is where the tracks.
That's what it appears to be, yes.
Okay.
I've seen them going from there before.
The
but
only
that big track,
construction
I don't know.
vehicles are on Brintnal.
There's
Am
two,
I crazy? Are construction of the two developments on
Correct.
Brintnal.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what we're talking about, there,
Alright,
those
okay.
devices, yeah.
Alright, so I don't know
That would
who
be
we call
crazy
them.
if people were.
Well,
Police on.
like I said, no,
Yeah, right.
if a guy's running an excavator up the middle of a town road, he shouldn't be.
yeah. his
So call
operating-
the
he loses
cops.
I think,
operator's
I
license.
think perhaps, well, I think perhaps what you're getting at is sort of at whose behest is this excavator going up and down the road? And I think the question is, it's an issue of if it's a subcontractor, if it's a separate company, kind of whose construction it is. I think there's a,
Contracted, they're contractors for you,
There's subcontractors that are working there.
Yeah.
Are there
Right.
rules
I
on
don't-
how are there rules on where
You
these
can't break
trucks
the
and
law.
excavators can?
You
What?
can't break the law.
Not technically motored vehicles, which
If
the
they're not
road is
registered, they can't be on a road.
There you
can't be on a
go.
road.
I mean, so I
Yeah.
didn't tell a guy, if it was one of my guys, I don't tell him to break the law. You don't break the law. You do, go to jail, just like anybody else, or you get a ticket. But the point is, I don't know that it was my guys. I don't know. I don't even know if it was an excavator. I haven't seen any pictures.
Let me ask a question. To get this out of the point, we're gonna send something to Chris. Can you talk to, I'm having a brain death with your site project manager,
Tom?
Tom. Could you have Tom talk with his crews that are subcontractors and let them know that there's a problem with that? And then we've done everything through you we can with the site manager. And then the next would be Chris to get involved if any of his roads he has an issue with it.
That'd be the easiest thing to do, cause our public services are strapped as they are. I don't think
Yeah.
they need a
All
call.
I'd ask is just talk to Tom and ask
I
him,
definitely do that.
that's all I'm
Then I'll
asking.
talk to my site guy and I ask him, if you're running an excavator up and down the street, you're gonna get a ticket or somebody's gonna get in trouble.
Well, and
In my world, that guy would no longer be operating that vehicle. I would fire his ass on the site. That's me. I'm
you
a hard
know,
ass.
in short comment to add to it, I mean, Chris is gonna ask you to repair the road with either hours or maybe material. I'm not saying this damaged it that much, but it's imprinted in the road for a quarter mile, so I mean, those guys are causing you trouble too, you know, unwanted trouble.
But we did a
unfortunately.
lot of work in the road, Keith. We put the water lines in the street, we put
Yeah.
the sewer lines in the street. There was excavators up and down that
That's
road.
probably
That was a
around that
year
time
ago.
frame.
But there were police there. But I don't know when you
Are you
took them.
talking
It's just-
about?
Well,
Those pictures
I
are
think
from
this is-
like a week or two ago.
I think we've got a solution. You talk to your
I'll talk
site
to Tommy.
manager, we send a letter to Chris and ask him, get some guidance, and if there's a problem, please bring it back to the board and we'll handle it with the developer. That's, I think, the solution. I don't think we need to go any farther with that because there's nothing we can do other than we've got the pictures. If Chris wants to see those, we can
Yeah,
send it to him
put
and
them
then
in.
he can drive up the road too and see if there's damage. I really want it in his bailiwick because it's his road. And if there is that road is his road.
Bailiwick?
Sorry, it's a phrase I use.
I've heard
I don't
that.
know that one.
You don't?
No.
Bailiwick
heard
is
that a lot.
It's in his thought,
wheelhouse.
it's in his wheelhouse,
I
his
have
area.
no idea what that
Sorry.
was.
His-
Alright.
It's a Midwestern thing
Yep.
that I picked up.
Got
I
it.
don't know if it's
No,
East
I
Coast.
say that too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Picked up a
sorry.
new one.
It's used by curmudgeons.
German curmudgeons from
Honorary
Indiana.
curmudgeons.
All right, that's 5, 6, and 7.
How about 10, so I can leave, please?
All right, active reports, let's go, we've got that in front of it, the memorandum. Brintnal before I go past, 7, I need to get a feeling of concrete blocks. What's up?
Still there?
I'm moving them to Shrewsbury,
Okay,
so I just gotta have to take the time to do it and was so busy
can you give me a
right now.
date?
If you're just looking to get rid of
Oh, I
them,
don't
I
have
know
the
somebody who will
date,
take them, will pick them up and take them.
You do?
I do.
You have someone who'll take them?
Yeah, not for any money, but if you're just looking to get rid of them,
Oh, I'm gonna take them to my site in Shrewsbury, I just gotta do
Okay.
it.
All right,
But if I decide not to,
yeah, they can, and they have the ability to pick them up and take them away, so let me know.
I will.
all right, that's done. It wasn't on here, but I wanted to get that solved because it's been on my,
You don't wanna think
tip
about
of
it
my
anymore?
tongue for a while, so.
I keep-
Let's go on to 10. We got Brintnal Estates, Phase 1. When I went through this, I didn't see, on Phase 1, no issues, no subdivision construction on Grizzly, no home construction underway, no litter observed. And he was on site 3 times, 5/18, 6/3, and 6/15.
Did he mention we put in the head wall?
Well, that's Phase 1.
Yeah, that's phase 1.
Yeah, including
Yeah,
head
it said
walls.
stormwater outlet installed on 6/3, including head wall, so that's in there.
That was a big piece.
And level spreader required correction and was revised on 6/15 to my satisfaction. He's got that in there. Now, Phase 2, construction on Quail Run remains on hold. Home construction of 5 Quail Run underway currently. No litter observed, site visits again 3 times. Phase 3, and this is Brintnal Estates, so we're off of,
Yeah, Farm Drive.
yep. Contractor finished grading subgrade at Bear Farm Drive and placing gravel on 6/15. Binder pavement imminent, no litter observed. Again, 3 site visits.
So
I'll
mine is
stop it.
going in there this Friday, I hope. But hey, just to
6/26.
change the subject for a second, have any of you driven up Hilltop Estates?
No, I
Take a
haven't.
ride up there,
I went
it
up
is
once.
beautiful up
It's
there.
nice. It'll be cool.
It is beautiful.
So does anybody have any comments on Brintnal Estates before I move over? Anybody?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Fine.
Let's move on to Bryce Lemon, Woodside, which is Phase 4, which Phase 4 includes a cul-de-sac off Woodside, does it not? Am I mistaken?
Phase 4 does not have a cul-de-sac.
So it's just
It goes
to
from
throw
Phase 2
to
to
Phase,
Phase 3.
okay. There's no construction underway, construction of home lot on 81R commenced with contractor placing concrete footing, so that's just basically a house being built. So I'll ask anything on Bryce Lemon that the board has for issues.
I have something. You guys were holding some money on me because of that culvert. Remember that? You remember
I
that
don't, but,
discussion? That culvert's done.
is that part of the bond for Phase 4?
I don't know. Yeah, you added some, but the culvert's
Yeah, I
done.
think something was held back extra in case something had to be changed
Right.
based on,
EPA,
EPA.
We have
Yeah.
a consent order with the DEP, and
I don't think it was a
took
ton,
this
but yeah,
one,
there was
but-
something.
No, not yet.
So
So-
should we,
should I
No,
ask?
that hasn't been constructed yet, so it doesn't start.
no, I mean the culvert if it's it.
No, the 1 year is part of Phase 4, so that
Phase
culvert.
3 was the 1 year. Phase 4 is the one we're talking about. That culvert, you guys added some extra dough in because I had Remember Kevin said, well, he's not
Proximity.
settled with the DEP, he's not this, he's not that.
No, we did
Anyways.
riprap underneath.
It's all done.
Okay, they put it in.
Do we, Tamika, do you know if we, at last meeting I remember, we had all of the documentation from DCR and DEP. So I could approach Kevin and say, review the bond on the culvert and see if there's a release.
I'll ask for a bond reduction.
Well, fine,
Okay,
do that.
that's the
And
way
then
it should
officially it'll
work,
come
yeah.
through, and then
That's
Kevin
what it
can
should
take a
work,
look
yeah.
at it, perfect. Let's go to Hilltop Estates, driveway subgrade finished, gravel on 6/3. Binder payment was put in on 6/5, contractor installing underground utilities on 6/15/2026. I have to ask, because I know about it, but I know I gotta ask about the water issues. Has that been successfully resolved with the fire chief?
Okay, so Weston and Sampson, no, it hasn't.
That's all I needed.
Okay, not yet.
Did you do a water test though?
Not yet.
Okay.
Weston and Sampson did a water test just below, they came up with 1,100 gallons a minute. I've gotta
Down
figure
at
out,
the top.
I gotta do another test.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I need to know is it's not resolved and it's
Not
being worked
resolved yet,
on.
No,
Okay,
Was 1,100 worthy?
it's 500 is.
500's the min.
Seth won, it was 500.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, I mean, it's a good start.
It should be fine, but
Okay,
we'll see.
Sure.
all right, that's it for 10, if nobody has any comments on Hilltop Estates. Anyone? All right, that's
Just
it,
take a
number
ride
10.
up there, you guys, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I'm not buying a house, I'm
You don't have to
satisfied.
buy a house, but you gotta, you know, you see all your hard work.
Can I take my dirt bike up there?
As long as there's no people
Legally
living
or
up there, yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
You can take your e-bike.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Do a 360.
That's not me.
All right, Clay,
That's
thanks.
You guys see riding around.
Let's, before we go to
Good idea.
4, let's go to 8, meeting space. As of July 1st, Tamika, tell me if I'm wrong, but it hasn't been officially worked out that this place will not be allowed to meet in, is that correct or am I wrong?
That is official.
That is official,
We cannot use this space beyond the business hours of the building. And on Tuesdays, they close at 6 p.m. beginning July 1. So this room will be unavailable. All of these rooms will be unavailable for planning board and conservation commission. And
Okay.
unfortunately, as of today, we've yet to identify an alternative solution other than having a remote only meeting.
I'm gonna suggest to the board an alternate solution, and then we can bring that, I'll have you bring it to Heather.
Sure.
The,
I better
annex,
Oh, okay.
where we've had our bylaw subcommittee meetings, has enough space for us. It has limited space for visitors. And it does have the ability to have that camera set up so we could be fed in through, the cable commission. I wanted to get the feel from the board, yes, no, do we go down that path? Cause right now, I think that's the only option we have. Tamika, if I'm wrong, that's it, there's no other place.
Can I ask too, because there's, the fire brigade building has been thrown around, but to my knowledge, it's not ADA accessible.
No, it's not.
I didn't think so,
Well, what
okay.
about the first floor?
If the building's not ADA accessible, we're in
You
deep
can't have it at
trouble.
all.
And now, my young lad, if you wanna give me as a fire brigade member $30,000, I'll put in an elevator in a heartbeat.
Okay. Got it.
They're working on that,
Yeah.
but that's one of the last
Okay.
things. So the only ADA compliant building that I know of is the annex in that conference room.
So, and the select board will continue to meet here on Mondays, are they,
So the Board of Trustees made an exception for the select
Okay.
board, and they are the only board that is allowed to meet outside of business hours.
Mhm.
On Wednesdays and Thursdays, the library is open till 8, but the expectation is that on a night like tonight, if we were not done by 8, that we would have to call the meeting at 8 and adjourn.
If we changed
Well-
our meeting date to
I was
Wednesday.
Lauren, I
gonna
know what
say-
you're thinking, I'm gonna ask for an exception, aren't I?
No, actually, what I was gonna suggest is that in the past, we've had a meeting at the same time as the select board and we've met over there. Can we not meet at the same time as the select board and just meet over there?
Nope, they've explicitly stated it's only allowed for the select board.
Okay, even if it's at the same time?
Problem is, we'd be changing, their meetings are on Monday if I'm not
Well,
mistaken.
yeah, but I mean, we're
We just
changing
have to cha-
something.
So I
Yeah,
will say, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the library board of trustees actually has a meeting scheduled for later this week, and it's open to the public. So if there are any boards and committees that have concerns that might like to have a back and forth discussion with the trustees, double check the website, cause I think there might be a meeting on Thursday.
Okay,
But the room that you recommended, is that where we used to have our master planning
yes,
meetings?
yeah,
It fits us fine.
yeah. It's just,
But
it's
not
limited,
everyone, right.
if 10 people showed
I
up,
know, there's
it would
not
be
room for
wall to
that.
wall.
Yes.
I think we definitely have to think, if there was one where we anticipated a lot of people, we'd definitely have to come up with a plan B,
Yeah,
cause it's tight.
I think right now, if the board's okay with it, I think Plan A, I mean, our next meeting, we gotta have Plan A in place, otherwise we don't have a meeting. I just wanna get the feeling from the board before I have Tamika send a letter to the town administrator requesting that we have access on Tuesday at 6:30 to whenever.
So plan A, we start having meetings over there.
Yeah,
Plan B, we have a representative at Thursday's meeting and we think about switching to Mondays.
no,
Was that plan B?
Plan B was
We asked
actually
the
to ask them for an
trustees to meet.
exception for Tuesday.
Oh, instead of meeting on
Cause
Mondays
they're
at the
open
same
till 8
time?
o'clock on Tuesday.
No,
No.
6 with the new
That's why it
hours.
eliminates the space, is their new
Oh.
hours starting Wednesday is only till 6. So that's why Planning Board and Conservation Commission are left
Mhm.
without a meeting space on
So
Tuesdays.
they're closed before we would even start.
And Concom was considering going fully remote, but that would be challenging for this board because you often
We
have
have too much
documents
to
to
sign.
sign. Exactly.
They do too. I'm gonna be interested in how the Concon signs off on permits.
So they actually, since 2021, offer electronic signatures.
Oh,
So we filed with the Registry of Deeds 5 years ago, and so we do electronic signatures, so I don't ever get wet signatures from them.
Wet.
is that
That's
possible?
what the registry
That's
calls
what
it,
they-
it's a
yeah.
wet signature.
Okay.
It's a bailiwick, if you will.
I like that.
Well done,
Yeah.
well done.
Um,
I mean, I think
we've gotta go with that for now.
that's plan A. Yeah, plan B is attending the meeting on Thursday and asking for something. I
I
don't know what the
think-
thing is, though. I mean,
I
it
think
seems,
also there could be a plan, this isn't gonna address anything right now, but a plan C where we bring the board into the 21st century with like a SharePoint and electronic signatures and stuff like that, so that if we continue to face this problem, we can
but
have a.
if we have to sign the big things, I mean, the
yeah,
letters
good
and stuff,
point,
that's one
yeah.
thing,
So
but
you
like,
have,
to
you
meet
do
it
have to
to-
have a wet signature for an A and R.
yeah,
You could do electronic
never mind.
signature for your decisions.
okay.
As I was.
Well, I mean, if we could just know also if there's A&Rs on the, like, we would just have to be in somewhere physically or come in and sign stuff. Could we all sign it at different times if we needed to do something like that? Like if we
Yes and
voted
no.
and, okay.
So, with an A and R, it
Yeah.
has to be signed, sealed, delivered within 21 days of the date that it was signed in. So if you're still within the window, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
But also recognizing that town hall's hours are changing and they will only be open on Mondays and Tuesdays now. So that might also limit people's ability to
It's-
get there.
So if we voted on something on a
It's pretty
Tuesday,
mess.
we couldn't even begin to sign until the following Monday.
Correct.
We'd have, Lauren, a 6-day waiting period, which could fall outside of the 21 days.
Yeah.
Which means it's effectively approved without any signatures.
Yeah.
And I'm not cool with that,
And
so.
I think most people that have an AR plan wanna get it recorded as soon as possible, so I imagine it probably wouldn't go over very well if we had to make them wait, but I understand what you're trying to do.
And I know Alex has walked out and I'm okay with the 21st century. I'm just old school. I like to meet in person because I see ideas get changed easier.
There's a lot to talk about in person versus computers.
I mean, I think
I hear you.
too,
I
if
think you
we're-
gotta work with it.
if we're in the annex and it's a smaller room, I think we have, generally, we have a sense of the meetings where there's going to be a lot of visitors. We typically have one,
Yeah,
or, 2 or 3.
we're fine with
Most
that.
meetings don't have a huge attendance. And the ones that do, we
I
usually
mean,
know
if we
in
have to,
advance.
we can always, if 12 people show up, we can take that topic and say we're moving it to another meeting or continue it. And then we'll have to come up with a plan B or C.
Or take things out of order and say, you know what, the one with 6 people here we'll do first.
Yeah.
So you guys can
Yeah.
clear out of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great, but it
So,
is where we are.
If, I'll wait till Alex gets back, but if the consensus is we can use that, then before I leave, I'll let the, physically let the,
Cable company.
cable company, thanks, it's a long
No, you're
night.
okay. I feel it.
know that our next meeting, which is the second week of July, which is
July 14th.
14th?
I just checked the website. The Library Board of Trustees does have a meeting this Thursday evening at 7 p.m. and they meet in the room that's upstairs.
The same time the RDIC is having a meeting, so I can't. And I know I can't miss, I apologize to the board, I can't miss that because we're trying to get an RFP out to sell property at the Heights. Bring income in. And we're on our final round, so we can get it issued by July 1st, so I can't.
How often do they meet?
Once a month.
So
Does
this
the
is,
town own this building?
don't, Tamika's gonna say the same thing, don't go down that path.
Okay, so it's shared space or whatever,
Yeah.
shared ownership.
So Keith, it's actually, Mass General Law gives the Library Board of Trustees, oversight over the operations and use of the building, even though it's a town-owned building.
And I think you guys, I think not you guys, but the town's already gone to KP.
Yes, they have.
Cause I argue the fact, this is me personally, there's a lease with the next door. To me, that makes this downstairs area open to anybody, but if KP's ruled on it, I'm not gonna override an
Oh,
attorney.
yeah, why should they pay for something they
Yeah.
can use?
So-
I agree.
I could potentially go to that meeting. I guess the question is, what are we lobbying for?
I would say
An exception on Tuesdays?
Tuesday, yep, to go no
That's-
later than we'll say
Okay.
9 o'clock.
And if that's a hard no, is there a second possibility in our perspective?
You said Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, they're open till?
So Monday, they're closed completely and they're only allowing the select board in the building.
Oh.
Tuesday, they close at 6. Wednesday and Thursday, they're open till 8. But the expectation is that anybody that's meeting here calls their meeting at 8 p.m. sharp.
Okay.
Which we know a lot of our boards and committees go beyond that time, especially during certain times of
Is
year.
that something that's open to book, like they would essentially, like we do now? Obviously, we're on a schedule, but there's other boards that go, hey, we need a room, and they
So
use the.
we're working through that right now. We're trying to streamline the process because right now it's, you go to our office for this room, you go to the library for the other 2 rooms. So I'm
Yeah.
working with the library to try to come up with a process where it's one method of reserving a space.
Yeah.
So we're trying to work that out
You know, and the
still.
best thing is, you know, I know what shared renting space is like, and I mean, you do have to be fair with everyone, if, you know, no matter who it is, you know, so I mean, it's like no guarantee you'd get the place, you know.
When's their meeting, Thursday?
Thursday at 7.
We're not on their agenda though. Is that gonna be a problem, Tamika?
I don't know if they accept public comment. That's yeah, hold on.
Sorry,
not an
I hate to be a pain in the
No,
butt,
it's
but
it's valid.
I don't wanna, I don't want Lauren you to show up and then you're sitting there and they're like, we don't recognize you.
Yep, that's true, cause they
I
do
mean,
have the
even
right
I
to
So
guess-
they meet monthly, so.
So actually, it's the topic on their agenda, meeting room usage after July 1st
Email
is
for
on there.
Just to the
Okay.
board to say.
So
Okay.
it is a valid agenda
Think
topic.
about us.
I mean,
I
like,
personally-
I could join you, like, I can be available if you need, if you want more people.
It's on their agenda, Tim,
It is,
yes.
so,
Lauren, if you want more people, I can go.
yeah,
Sure.
more
Yeah, I know
representation's
it's-
always great. And it's 7 o'clock?
Mhm.
How big is their agenda?
It's just that and library carpeting, and that is the first agenda
Yeah,
topic.
old
Since you
business,
get-
meeting room, new business, carpeting.
What, are we at
Adjourn.
6:30?
I think you're at 6, aren't you?
Yeah,
I didn't do your agenda this time, Michelle did.
Today was 6:30.
No,
Yeah,
the
this is for the
RDIC
Okay.
is on.
we'll probably go more than an hour, darn. I'll do my best to get
Oh,
upstairs.
you're at 7,
We're at 7, I knew it,
yeah.
they moved it.
Yep.
I was out of town when it happened, so.
Oh, you're saying Thursday.
Yeah, and I'm in 2 places, and I'm the chairman, I gotta be there. Last time I missed because of vacation. Tamika, who's their chairman for the trustees, or do they have a chairman?
Ruth Ann Rivesi.
Ruth Rivesi.
Okay,
And what, why couldn't we, like, do we just not wanna change the, like, date? I feel like would the easiest path forward though, in everybody's opinion, be to piggyback on the exception that the select board already has for Mondays? Like, instead of asking them to, do you think Tuesday is a bridge too far for them? To keep this, keep the place open 2 hours after they close?
Oh, and ask instead to just,
Use the other room and just pick exact same time?
Yeah, I guess that's why I'm asking what the,
It might be helpful to understand where they were coming from when they made that exception for the select board only.
Sure,
Maybe
town
understand
business.
what
Yeah.
their thought process was.
I don't, I feel like I can, if anybody else wants to come, that's great, but I feel like, I can have a conversation with
Okay,
them.
good enough.
The only other consideration is just from a public perspective, with the select board and the planning board both being, more prominent boards, folks that might have an interest in both
Both
might have a
being-
concern with them both being on the same night.
Mm-hmm.
That's just food for thought.
And the problem to moving like to Wednesday or Thursday is there's so many of the board meetings. I know I'm booked on Wednesday and Thursday, either with the bylaw subcommittee or with the RDIC.
Yeah.
So I'm tagged.
I think
Could
the
we
other
ever
hard,
consider moving like a different time? Like, why is it 6:30? Doesn't the select board start at 5:30 the day? Do they always do that?
No, they're
Oh,
usually
that
at
was
6.
just yesterday,
Oh,
we're usually
okay.
6, that was for an
Okay.
exception. I remember you guys had a conversation about it a while ago, about possibly moving it up to 6, but I don't remember where you landed.
I
It
mean,
doesn't
I
make too
can
much
do
of a
6
difference,
on
but-
Tuesdays. I just can't do any earlier than that. I'll never make it from Southborough in time.
I can do 6.
I mean, I was just thinking about, well, I'd like to say most of our meetings clock in under 2 hours, but not all of them.
Not.
If we met from 6 to 8 on like a night that they're open anyway, is that would that be possible
Their
for
only nights are open from
us.
till 8 is,
Wednesday, Thursday?
yeah. And for me, there's no way.
Okay.
I'd be double booked.
Okay.
I guess maybe the ask is on Tuesday, if we could get an extension for 2 hours to 8, and then we just have to make it hard. We'll have a meeting from 6 to 8, and we'll have to have a hard stop at 8, and if,
Well, with less not public, but like if we control our dialogue a little bit better, I
Yeah,
think
I understand.
we can try and stay within those
Yeah,
bounds.
through it.
Control our dialogue.
Well,
I like that, that's very, yeah, I agree.
okay.
Okay.
I think the other comment.
That's not what I'm saying.
For double meetings is the TriCast. They can only stream one meeting.
Oh,
It's
really?
I was
You
wondering
can
about that.
record two, but they have, cause remember the
Oh.
time when, I think
I
it's
thought-
just
yeah.
bandwidth.
Yeah.
You can't have, so I mean,
So then we wouldn't be able to do remote for ours.
You can
I
do
don't know.
remote,
We
but you
can't.
can't do a live stream.
Okay,
yeah, it just
alright.
won't
Yeah,
be
the Zoom would
available.
work,
Okay,
but not the.
Alright,
And I guess
Not
that's
the
not
YouTube.
truly
TV.
as important, but I think just,
To
that
support-
meeting we were over there, the systems, that was, I think, the first time I
Crashed.
realized they can't operate two on the same product. Yeah.
Which will change if we go to Teams. Teams, you can do all of the above with Microsoft's products, but
Oh.
you can't with Zoom.
Oh, wow.
Well, from the board's perspective, are we giving Lauren negotiating powers to get us Tuesday till
yes.
to 8 o'clock? Sorry, I just wanna make sure
Anyone would be
you're
able to
clear.
do it.
You're giving me asking power.
Yes.
Well, I consider negotiation, cause right now the answer is no from the.
But we've got no,
We're
we've
already
got
at
nothing to
one
stand
step.
on, so it's not much of a negotiation, but yes, I will, the ask is Tuesday until 8, that is certainly our preference.
And we'll do a hard stop at 8, and it'll just be us in here and
One
the
cable.
cable, that's it. And we will make sure everything's cleaned up and put back the way it's supposed to be before we leave.
Okay,
Or we use the annex.
yeah, I mean, I think that's a reasonable
Yep.
alternative.
Leave that in the back.
Okay, that gets 8 and 9 both out of the way, cause 9 was gonna discuss our operations as of July 1st, which includes where we're gonna operate and how we're gonna operate, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have some questions about operations as someone who I think will have to do a lot more than I do right now, but maybe that's just a me and Tamika conversation.
For.
Minutes,
your-
agendas.
Oh, Jesus, I forgot about that, Lauren,
We're on our own.
Yeah,
Yes, we are.
So, but again, like, I mean, the nitty gritty of how it all works is not something we need to talk about now. I guess just not acknowledgement, but recognition that like, that's all internal from July 1 on.
Well, no,
Right.
no, in the past, we've had, before Tamika came on board, we had a admin that did a lot of the work for us and worked with the Lori Becker,
Is that a possibility?
yeah, and we paid it out of our revolving
Who
fund.
would that be?
We'd have to hire them,
You'd have to do a job posting.
yes. So,
But I think those are good steps to take, cause putting all of
What I'm trying to do is
Tamika
not
did
putting everything on
a
Lori.
I was
weekly
gonna say,
basis
'cause
on
I
your
mean,
plate
like,
is ridiculous.
Meeting minutes and things like that, but there's, I mean, there's things that you do that I just don't know how to do. I don't think anyone here does.
It's true.
So,
Tamika, I guess the chair's asking if you could ask Heather to put out a admin posting for, what do we got? 8 hours a month as a temporary, or as a,
What are you, I would need some guidance from the board as to what you are willing to expend from the revolving fund as a, because so this is a challenge that we're gonna face. This position, cause we came up on this with the Concom, does not exist on our wage matrix. So what we are doing moving forward is rather than paying an hourly rate, cause it doesn't exist, is to pay a bi-weekly stipend to that individual, which is what you guys have been doing with me.
yeah,
So essentially, the Conservation Commission voted on what they were comfortable expending as a bi-weekly stipend for all of FY 27. So I would recommend that you guys do the same, because that would have to be included in the job posting, cause we're legally required to post a range. So I would actually need a range of, you know, from $200 bi-weekly to $400 bi-weekly.
is there any way to ask Nick if the records exist from when Lori was here, to see how much we paid here on a monthly basis, and we'll divide that by 2?
and multiply for inflation.
I would say
Too.
it would probably be more helpful to go based on what you were paying me, because that's current. So you've been paying me $400 bi-weekly, but that was everything. That was more than just the agendas and the minutes.
And that
So
was
I
coming
think-
out of the planner's salary, correct? It wasn't coming
Correct.
out of our,
Right, so I think you'll have to decide, one, what you want those responsibilities to be. Is it just agendas and minutes? Is it decision writing? Is
No,
it
that-
applications? Is it,
see, I don't wanna get into that, that's planner's responsibility, I just need an admin.
Yeah, but we don't have a planner.
That's the town's problem, not mine.
Well, it'll,
Nope, I'll fight this, I'll fight you guys to death on this, they need to fix that. There's nothing we can do. I mean, what are we gonna do, 12 hours? How many decisions are gonna get written in 12 hours? When 4 or 6 of those are gonna be in, basically taking A&Rs at a night. The select board and the town administrator at the time decided on those hours. We didn't agree with it, not my call. I don't get to do that. Norm and I went to the FICOM and recommended what we wanted, and we were shot down. So I am more than irritated about that, because we don't have professional staff to do what we need to do.
well, I guess then the question is functionally, how does that work?
Hierarchy.
The
Next
alternate
person-
is,
next
which
person
I
up.
thought about, an alternate plan is, for my planner, we have Kevin Quinn available, and we pay him on an as-needed basis for support. He's a PE stamped engineer.
Would
He
that would that make a conflict of
Nope,
interest with
I
him
checked
being
on
our,
that.
okay.
No, cause he's basically working for the town, not for an individual developer or anybody like that. That's the first thing I checked on, cause I was, that came exactly to my mind, damn, is he gonna be a conflict of interest? But if he's working on review, so I was gonna bring that up to the board, instead of, the 12 hours, we've got whatever that money's is, 12, like, I don't know, is it
it's about
36?
$21,000.
$21,000 we've got sort of in a fund. Do we use that to cover a per diem basis for a planner?
Well, I mean, sure, I just have a question. You said the Conservation Commission was having the same dilemma? Do they have a revolving fund?
They do
They have
now.
a Wetlands Protection Act fund, that they are allowed to use for promulgation of the Wetlands Protection Act, which administrative staff falls under that. They do also have a revolving fund, but it just was created, so they don't have any money in it. Once they build that up, the revolving bylaw says that administrative support is included in that.
There's no possibility for these commissions to combine their revolving fund and
No.
keep you on as a second job?
No, we can't combine the revolving funds.
Can't combine the revolving funds.
Norman, I already offered her.
So much institutional knowledge lost.
Oh, I agree, but I'm not gonna hold Tamika when what's happened in town has happened in town. And don't tell me if I'm
She
getting
wants
it,
to
you've
get paid
accepted
for it.
another job, but you haven't got it finalized yet.
Correct.
And she sent Norm and I an email indicating that we offered her an 8 to 10 hours, and it's beyond,
But there are some ideas in one of those emails that got sent out where we have things that we can do now, but as far as potential like internships for somebody or something like
yeah,
some,
that's not.
it sounds pie in the sky, but like when we're grasping at straws, like it's worth, I think, a shot.
I'm not gonna, this is me personally, I'm not speaking for the board, I'm not having a college student review a subdivision, that it's
I
wasting
was
my time.
worried about that whole part, like it would have to be some like teacher's pet where the professor really took an
Yeah.
inkling.
So that's why I came up with the solution to talk to Kevin and see if he would be amicable as somebody who knows the town, knows our bylaws, knows our regulations, could do that on a per diem basis.
Or, I mean, right, even someone in a master's program in engineering would, the cost would be probably higher than what we're,
But I wanted to bring, I don't wanna do a decision night, but I thought Kevin was a great solution for us on a short-term basis.
Willing to.
So if I may,
entertain it.
I would recommend that if you go that route, that you establish some sort of contract with Kevin, because right now we have nothing that documents the relationship between the town and Kevin. And I
Okay,
think it would be very important to spell out the length of time you would be willing to go and how much you would be paying. I'd be very, very transparent about that.
yeah, it'd be basically a per diem basis on an hourly per diem basis for how much an hour we're gonna pay him. And then,
Do
You
you
have to
have,
bill you
but you'd
and-
have to set, I imagine you'd have to set a maximum because you only have a finite amount of money to use, and I think that 21,000 is gonna go like that.
oh, we've got 69,000 to back into if we have to use it, cause we used to do that in the past. If we had to go to a third party, we'd use that, but that's a board decision, it's not a town decision. Our revolving fund is managed by us, not by the
Talking about the
town.
remaining town planner money that or you're talking
No,
about
I'm talking the
budget?
new the remaining money disappears in 7 days.
Okay.
The new town money, Tamika's correct, will be 21,000 that we could use on a per diem type basis. But once that, to Tamika's point, once it's gone, then we have to go into the revolving fund if we're gonna keep anybody on.
And then ask for more every year essentially, as needed,
Yeah.
if we can, show what our.
We can
numbers are.
ask,
Yeah, you can ask, yep.
I just know what's gonna happen next year, and I'm not being a pea on the parade,
You
but
can
this town's gonna
leave-
be in no better shape next year than it is this year, so,
Yeah,
We have parade to pee on.
I get it.
that's what's gonna happen, unfortunately.
So can
Nailed
I
it.
just ask for clarification, do you still wanna do a job posting for,
An admin we have to, because I don't wanna drop this whole ball, this is me personally, the rest of the board can speak on Lauren, cause I think it's too much.
Oh, there's no way we're doing that. I'm taking.
can't.
That's the answer I wanted to hear.
outside of agendas and minutes, what would you like this person's responsibilities to be? Do you want them to prepare the meeting packets?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I make these for us with proposed motions?
I would be happy to share the Word document of that. And just so you know, like, I'm not gonna ghost you guys. Like, you
Tamika,
can ask me questions, send me emails. I'm not gonna leave you guys for dead.
I fully
You
believe
just
that.
texted me, lose your number. What are you talking about?
I didn't, I was diligently taking my minutes.
And while we appreciate that, I
I know,
would
you'll
never
have
wanna
to-
like ask someone to volunteer for something that we
I get it, but I'm willing,
Yeah,
but I
that's
will
not
give
right.
you guys whatever I have
Yeah.
to help you be
It's a
successful.
transition period,
Yeah.
after that, somebody needs to take over.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, so you want them to do agendas, minutes, and meeting packets. Now, what is the range of bi-weekly stipend that
I
you
don't
are
know.
comfortable with?
I have no idea.
Can't be more than 4.
So we're
I
talking
think
8 out, I
4
mean.
would be high.
Yeah, 8 out.
So
How many
say,
hours do we,
can you do like 3 to 350?
I think that would be high for what you're asking this person to do.
Yeah. I was looking at $16 an hour times something.
I think the most of their time is gonna be at a meeting. So that's my other question. Are you going to require that they come to the meetings,
Yes.
or are you going to allow them to do it? Okay, cause that's important.
I definitely want somebody here at the meeting.
Okay.
In person, or could they
Yeah,
attend online?
virtual,
Like, let them, I mean, if they could attend virtually for $16, it
Well, I
is.
think the
and I
hard
was just
thing-
saying, I mean,
Yeah.
like, in terms of meeting minutes, that's something that,
Do remotely?
no, I was gonna say, I feel like I can take meeting minutes fairly successfully. It's unfortunately all the like, oh, this is this other thing you didn't know. It's all of that kind of information that I can't do, but I don't know if that person would be able to do it either at the meeting, so,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they wouldn't, but.
I mean, I have no problem having somebody here initially just to get the feel of how we doing, then going remotely. I'm okay with that. What you could put in the thing is what we do at Eversource, hybrid. Call it a hybrid position.
Okay.
And then we could set the hybrid down the road of what we want to do.
What if you say 150 to 250 bi-weekly?
Works for me.
I think that probably makes sense. Yeah, I feel like,
That's 10 hours, that's 8 to 10 hours a week.
yeah, I mean, if it's 200 and it's 20 an hour, that's
Divided by
10
6.
hours. That's 5 hours a week, cause it's bi-weekly.
Oh, it's bi-weekly. I'm sorry, I was thinking weekly. I'm fine with that. Use that number.
Or $16 an hour, that's, yeah, basically 6 hours a week.
it's minimum wage, so.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, there's just no benefits with it. It's just,
it's side work for someone, essentially.
yeah. And that's what Lori and, gosh,
I don't know who did it. after
she's
Lori.
retired. Oh, God, I'll think of it. Face is right in front of me.
It wasn't Karen Wambach.
No, it was,
She did Concord.
she worked at UMass and she did this as a side job.
Oh,
for
I
us.
don't know who that is.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll think of it. Did a great job, was with us as long as I was on the board.
No, when I started in this 10 years ago, I was doing it as a stay-at-home mom, cause I could come out in the evenings and do it. I think you're probably not gonna get somebody that's doing this cause it's gonna pay their bills. It's
No,
more
no,
just
it's a
to-
side job.
It's like, hey, I can get out and engage with people
Yeah.
and, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
worth a
do
shot.
150 to 250 and just leave it at that.
Okay.
And I mean, other than the meeting time, the rest of it isn't necessarily at a certain time. I mean, things need to be done by deadlines, but
Correct. It's
not like you gotta be
flexible.
in the office for these hours, like it's, you know,
Yes.
if you wanna do the agenda at midnight.
The only tough part
Fine.
I've got for this whole thing is A&Rs come in, who's gonna handle them? That's where I don't, and Tamika, you know, that's been you for now, but you've been sort of using our planner's salary to take care of that.
And when you say
So-
come in, that's like physically come in.
Yeah, to get early on, well, when I say come in, like to the meetings,
Oh,
to the
yeah.
office, I don't,
So here's the other challenge we face. So my initial recommendation is we have them go to the town clerk, cause it has to be clocked in anyways.
yes.
But there's that 21-day clock that starts as soon as they clock that in. So if you don't have somebody, you know, and then we're only open on Mondays and Tuesdays, so it depends on when they
Tuesdays.
clock it in.
It's gonna be a mess.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer to that is. Cause this person that you're hiring is not gonna be that person
not that.
No.
that's processing an A&R application.
No, that's basically what a planner did in the past. And we don't have one of those. So,
Unless you sub it to Kevin, right?
yeah, but he has his
Not
own
physically
business. He's not
here.
gonna be here, he's not gonna be living here
You're
doing
just
the-
talking about review.
Kevin, my thought process was him, was the technical standpoint supporting us.
Okay.
You know, like if there's a review, or if we've got a question, like say Mr. Blair came in with a plan and there was an issue, that's you know, we don't have 8 hours of our own
Essentially
personal time to
saying-
do it, so we'd hire Kevin to take a look at it and come back to the board with a recommendation
We're expecting to use Kevin more.
as an engineer.
Because of this, but outside of his normal,
Yeah.
frequency.
Or he could do it during the day, cause he's billing us for the hours, so however he wants to do it, I don't care.
Yeah, it's just, we're gonna have to let him know we're.
I just don't have the
requiring
answer.
more of him.
Yeah, I just don't have the answer for how the heck.
So the other consideration is the finances, cause I've been managing all of the
Oh, I know.
turnovers, paying Kevin, all the invoices. Is that something that this person would do? I just don't know.
Susan was our previous one.
I don't know her.
Yeah, and she did that, she took care of all the billing
Yeah.
and,
It'd be
any,
that or the chairman, and that's not really a possibility right now.
that amount of
So
time that
Norm
Tamika
used to
puts
do
in.
it. Norm
Right.
used to do it, and when I
Yeah.
came on board, that transitioned to me. That was back when Dave George was still here.
Yeah.
So
What about the treasurer? I know they don't wanna.
They're not gonna
the
touch
mon-
that.
They're the money person, right?
Yeah, they're
the
not,
problem is that the staff now, their hours are reduced too.
yeah.
So the amount that they can do in a day is.
This is a cascade effect across the entire
it's-
town.
It's hard. I don't think we'll solve it tonight, but I
Nope.
think it's all
Okay.
valid concerns.
Let's get the one thing, let's get something to Heather, at least to get a stipend position out.
Okay.
What's the board think of putting together an agreement with Kevin for technical support?
Agreed.
I think so.
Does that include writing decisions?
Yes.
Your alternate should have been an engineer instead of an art school major.
Well, I'm an engineer, but I'm an electrical fund
If
user.
you've got one, send him over.
Yeah.
I'm working on this.
I'm sorry, I know I've done a lot of talking this meeting.
No,
I
no, no,
usually
no.
try not to do that, but I
No,
just.
Tamika, we need the help,
Yeah.
honestly,
I'm trying to
because,
think of every possible thing, cause I'm just so used to doing it.
well,
that-
and I'm missing the 30-year-old guy who's done this, 30-year experience, and
Dick.
and Dick, so I've got experience, but I haven't done anything on the financial side. I looked at it one time when Lori was here and was gonna help Norm out, but it got transitioned to you, so it got taken away, so
I mean,
now-
it's not challenging, it's just somebody to
It's
take the
just
time
doing
to
it.
do,
Yeah.
managing the spreadsheets, doing the
Yeah.
physical turnovers, making sure that the fees are coming in with the applications, cause a lot of times you get an application and there's no fee with it. And so then it's, oh,
And
you
you gotta-
pay
you gotta
us.
rest
You have
What?
a spreadsheet template, right? Like an Excel template?
Oh, yes,
That's
yes, yes.
being used
Yep.
currently?
I have one we've been
Yeah,
using
for each,
for
you've got one
years.
for each subdivision,
Subdivision account, yep.
and for the revolving fund, you've got a spreadsheet for that, so we know what goes in and out.
Payments come in physically, obviously.
Invoices, they have to, physical invoices have to.
No, I mean like checks,
So
like
usually the
you,
checks come in with the applications,
Yeah.
and then there's also the monitoring of the subdivision accounts to get those checks to come in. But then I was also processing the invoices for Kevin and KP Law.
I'm just trying to imagine like what needs physical presence and someone actually like there getting a check or doing things versus someone just tracking.
So
I
the
mean, tracking is something
financial
I can probably
part,
do, but.
so the finance part, unfortunately, we are still all paper when it
Yeah.
comes to that. So you have to physically turn over the check with a paper and we physically turn in our bills to the town accountant to process them.
You've
So
got an-
that is a paper
You've got an
process.
approval with that invoice on it that goes to the
Correct.
town accountant, and then they pay from that.
Yeah, that's all a
Yeah.
paper process. The only virtual process or remote would be the tracking of the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And then I have like a physical binder where I keep all of the papers as they come in.
And just to let everybody know, that's not just the planning board, that's the
That's
entire.
everybody.
And like that kind of stuff needs to, like your binder of stuff, like that has to live at the town hall. It's not
Yep.
like, be like, oh, just take that one home with me, like
Correct,
it's
'cause
not
it has
something
account
that
numbers
even
in it.
could be done.
Yeah, copies of
And
checks.
even if Heather gets a replacement for Tamika in the near future, that job's cut to 28 hours, it's not a 40-hour
It's not
week
gonna
job
have
anymore,
time.
so.
And that this has all been taken out of that job description.
Yeah, all this is gone, it's up to the boards to handle it now. Well, let's fry one fish at a time. One is get a posting out for an admin with a per diem. Then if everybody's comfortable, talk with Kevin on a.
What is your rate gonna be though? Or do you wait for him to come back and tell you,
Yeah,
and then we see if we can afford it?
Yeah, that's what we've done in the past. And I'll have a talk with him about, be gentle, young lad. $200 an hour ain't gonna cut it. I mean, honestly, his rates are, when we used to deal with Cullinan, Kevin's rates were half of what we were paying for Cullinan, so he is what I'm looking for, affordable.
Is there an appropriate way to go about that conversation, or does it
It'll
open
be an
you up
email.
for things, you emailing him back
Yeah.
and forth?
And
Does
then,
that open you up to anything?
no, as long as I copy the town administrator on it. That's typically what I do, is keep Heather in the loop, because I can't sign contracts, only she can.
So I think it also may be helpful to set an expectation with the residents that there's going to be a delay in turnaround time for getting things like signed decisions. I think we've kind of, I'm like a very type A, like, let's get her done. And so I churn and burn, and that's not gonna happen anymore. So I think that when somebody comes in with an application that's gonna require a decision, there's just gonna have to be an expectation that Kevin's not gonna be able to turn it around in the same amount of time that they've been used to.
We're gonna have to do that on an individual basis when it comes, because I don't wanna put
Yep.
out an edict.
Oh, no, I don't think you do it as a general statement.
We used to,
but
we used to put an
just-
edict out, like,
Just as people
you're-
come in, kinda like what you did tonight
Yeah.
with the solar folks, like, hey, this is where we're at.
and you've got a lot of paperwork you need to fill out based on the bylaw.
Yeah,
Cause initially, when I read their emails, they were like, oh, we just gotta do a site plan review. Oh, no, you don't.
yeah.
There's a whole bylaw to follow, and we need that all followed. O&M manuals, discussion with fire chief, discussion with police chief.
Mhm.
All that stuff is part of that, bylaw that has to be done.
I just don't know who does it.
Yeah,
Can I just, in terms, so your, this stuff has been stripped out of what your position is, but if we are sort of posting this separately, can it be at least potentially discussed with applicants for this position that they could also
Yeah.
do 5 hours a week for us for a stipend? Like, it doesn't make them a 40-hour person, it still makes them a 28-hour person with some other
Some
extra stuff,
overtime.
but if, I'm
would
just wondering,
have
can
to-
that be part of the conversation?
It would still have to be a separate position.
Right, exactly.
Yes, so they
But it
could
could be the same
potentially hold,
person.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Cause
that's
I would
essentially-
imagine someone who might be good for that position would also be good for the things that we need, even if they're technically separate.
Sure, that, yeah,
And maybe
absolutely,
could
that
fill
could be.
extra time for someone.
that could be a discussion.
Are there other groups like us where the things that you do for them have been stripped out of what they're currently posting for?
Yeah, so the ZBA is gonna be, I do all of that for the ZBA too.
Okay, cause I just
And they
wondered,
don't have a fund to pay for it.
okay.
They're-
I was gonna say, maybe it'd be slightly more attractive to people to know, yeah, this is a 28-hour job, but there's some other pieces that like you could probably do that have some payment behind them.
It's
Okay.
hard because there's very limited boards that have an alternative funding source.
Yeah,
yeah. We're lucky to be one of them.
okay.
Sorry, I know that took a lot of time.
I guess the only thing to tell Heather is that we are gonna start a discussion with Kevin. And then, I mean, a lot of consultants have their own, what's the word I'm looking for, contract.
Mm-hmm.
And we could always get that from him of working with the town and then send it to KP to have them look it over and bless it.
Yeah, no reason to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, I don't wanna spend our time on lawyers and people if he's already got something. Cause I know he's done consultants for other places, so he's gotta have something that he's used, but I'll talk with him. Okay. That takes care of all the nightmares, except number 4, the master plan. I don't,
Just have to bless it,
yeah. Can we put that on the next meeting?
yes,
It's too late, I'm to the point where I got nothing left, nothing in the tank.
kinda hungry.
Can you put that on the July meeting? It's not like one meeting.
What's 2 more weeks?
For,
It's been 4 years.
I just, sorry, I'm gonna touch base with Tamika because we're not gonna find somebody who wants a $200 stipend for 5 hours a week, like tomorrow, probably. So we'll touch base about like the things that have to happen for us to meet as a board. I will also not be here at the next meeting, unfortunately, but I'm not leaving, I'm going away the day before the meeting, so I can work with you to figure
But
out.
I had already planned on setting you
Doing
guys
all that.
up for
Okay.
July 14th,
Excellent.
so that
Perfect.
you had somewhere to start and then you can take it from
Okay.
there.
yep, that was the email you sent out this,
Okay.
11 o'clock this
So
morning.
I will be back for the one on the 28th, but I will be away like up until it, so prepping for that meeting, we'll have to
So I
just
asked both
think
of
about
you
how that works.
gentlemen to be here because I'm almost positive Mr. Anderson will not, and we need three of us for a quorum.
John counts too.
We does?
He counts towards your quorum.
Oh, I didn't know that. Good, you and Al.
Yeah,
Okay.
when you don't, if I can help with the quorum, and I'm a voting member.
Okay. I thought it was just for special.
No, so he
Permits.
counts as a member towards your quorum. It's just, that just applies when it comes to voting.
Okay.
If you don't have enough voting members available for a motion that requires a supermajority.
All right. Perfect. Excellent. Good.
John's kind of a
Yeah.
big deal. Bigger than maybe he thought, you know?
I'm digging it right now.
The other night when we had the joint meeting, do we have to provide minutes to the town as
I'm gonna
well?
do that.
You're gonna do that one?
I'm gonna
Short and
type it up
quick.
as part of what I'm,
And
my
it's a
other
quick
minutes.
one.
Yeah.
Started, discussed,
Finished.
approved,
Yes.
done.
I'll have those
I just
in
wanted to
these
ask.
minutes for your next meeting so that you
Yeah.
guys can start fresh
Yeah,
moving
okay,
forward.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Like I said, type A, I can't leave loose ends, I gotta type
Well, I
all
wanted to
up.
ask, cause it was like, okay, I'll type it or.
Yeah, no, I couldn't sleep if.
All right.
I had a few questions, but I don't know if we wanna take it off, like just some
Go
notes
ahead.
from I took. What?
Go ahead.
Do we want it on like,
Yeah, it's gotta be,
Record?
yeah, I want it on
Okay.
everything.
so the solar,
Yes.
what does the town get out of that?
Tax revenue from the
Something,
property.
right?
Only
Yeah.
property revenue? We don't have, there's no special revenue for
No, there's no
solar?
business tax either in this town, so.
Yeah, just property
Was there
revenue.
Could I-
something
well, I
though,
did-
when they convert land like that? Did
Well,
we
wasn't
have?
there something about the place on Pleasantdale and they were supposed to be paying us, but nobody could figure out who owns it at this point?
Or that was
What was that
taxes though.
agreement?
That might have been taxes, actual with land.
I'll look at the bylaw. I don't know. I know for the marijuana, there was a percentage that the town got paid for the marijuana.
That's
portion.
how I
That's a
think
state
that,
law.
yeah, that's state law, I
Mhm.
Yeah.
believe.
I wanna say we had something.
I don't remember.
Is that a is that a business, are the solar panels a business?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So is it business,
have no
so that
business
it's
tax.
tax, but it's tax, so,
nope.
Yeah.
they're paying, well, they're
Well,
paying the
paying
same amount
property.
of, yeah,
Paying
property tax.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah,
and I
right.
actually sort of asked Tamika that on the side because it's presumably those are assessed in some way and taxed. I mean, they're not a house, so it's not being
Right.
assessed in the same way, but it's not a buildable open lot, so they have to be assessed in some capacity
Right,
and property taxed.
right, it can't just be assessed as barren land.
Exactly.
And
I
then-
don't know what
so
that is.
My next, I guess,
Iffy.
my next question was, does the town get any, do we get any electrical, are there any stipulations for them to subsidize some town residents' electricity?
I know the answer,
Yeah,
I do.
I
So
took
the
all these notes
town-
while I was driving.
So the town currently has an agreement with Nexamp where we
Mm-hmm.
get credits from the solar field that's off of Pleasantdale Road, I believe it's called Golden Hills? Is that the one? It's like right near the Rutland Sportsman's
Yes,
Club on the
yeah.
left-hand side there. So the town has an agreement with that where we get net metering credits from that. The
Correct.
town is working, from that solar field, no, there would be no benefit in that respect. But the town is working on an electricity aggregation program, which would help provide a benefit to the residents as like a third-party supplier. And we're hoping to have that in the fall.
I was just curious.
But that wouldn't be from,
What can we get out of them,
That's not from
basically,
solar
is what I
farms,
was-
that's
Correct.
just a utility.
that's a utility,
Yes.
yeah.
Is there a meeting tomorrow that I need to go
Bylaw
to?
subcommittee.
Yeah, you can come. They're
Being on
fun.
this board comes
I don't think
with
I'm
another
available.
board.
Yeah.
I'm not available.
Unless you
I was
decline.
gonna say, if you want to,
I'm
you
not-
can, it's not
Okay,
required.
I just heard you referenced a meeting tomorrow and I didn't
Yeah,
know if
it's
I
a
was
bylaw
supposed to be at it.
subcommittee.
It's,
I have
it's
no-
just as
told me on Friday
important as this committee in that
Yeah.
they like make all the rules, but like Lauren and I have preached for a long time, and everyone knows, it's very difficult to get all those hours out of your week and be like, where can I find an extra 6 hours? So we'll take what we can
So
get.
it's made
Normal
up,
time, no, I would, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have a problem, I just have a
it's
commitment tomorrow night.
it's made up primarily of planning board, like it's you and you and you and Dick is on it, even though he's not on the planning board.
Yep,
Um,
and
and
then
Amanda is on
Amanda,
it,
so
even
we've
though
got
she's not on the
two
planning board.
non-planning board members And, sure.
Alright, so in the future, I will,
Oh,
I
please
do
come.
not, I do not mind attending those meetings,
Bring
okay?
your coffee.
Once we're in motion, we have them until we run out of work, you know, and the
Okay.
idea is
Or
we
until I
bring-
say enough, because it's,
Yeah.
you could go for 6 hours. And
Yeah.
you gotta do a hard
Oh,
stop.
yeah.
In those bylaw meetings, is that a discussion that like amend things that would
No, we
help
pick-
us with our argument, like with conversations like this
No,
today?
we
Like,
pick a topic, and right now
Yeah.
the topic is we've got a grant with, CMRPC to help us with,
Rules and regs.
our subdivision rules and regs, and like I said, they hadn't been touched in a long time.
Yeah.
Typically, we would have a business meeting where it would be there, no public, it's just the planning board going through this. But with the bylaw subcommittee, we have an advantage of using them to codify and put together update that reg. And then when they think it's good, they send it back to the planning board for them to vote on it and, have to hold a hearing for the subdivision, but it doesn't have to go to town meeting. And then after the hearing's done, vote on it, and then it's approved and activated.
So,
Okay.
you know, when Clea was saying that if it's in the rules, it follows the rules, we have to
Yeah.
approve it. This is where the rules are made.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The subdivision regs
Okay.
are the,
And we follow them.
I mean, it,
Yes.
yeah,
To
okay,
take it one step further, John, any changes to the zoning bylaws do come from the planning board bylaw subcommittee.
okay.
So that's where it would originate before it would make its way to town meeting.
and to Tamika's point, when it's a zoning bylaw, it has to go before the town. We can approve it, we can bless it, we'll have hearings on it, but the town's gotta ultimately say they accept it.
Okay.
So it'll be in a fall or spring. We try to shoot for spring. Fall town meetings, we've got a lot of flack when we try to do zoning bylaws, cause it's not well attended. And individuals don't think it's fair that should be brought up.
Very last question. The Glenwood property, is there like
The
any
A and R
assurance?
from today?
What?
The A and R
Yes.
from today?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Is there any like assurance that that is the only how like subdivision that they, so,
It's A&R, approval not required. As long as it's got frontage and acreage, we have no authority
It
over
is
it.
one house though.
because, one house, no, but I'm saying,
Is that your question?
a year from now, another acre and a half, a year from, before you know it, that like
There's
gorgeous,
different ways
beautiful
to do
farm
it.
is gone.
As long as he's got frontage, if
That'd
he
be
starts to go
entirely-
back,
That's a bylaw thing.
no, that's
Is that a
state
by-
law.
That's state law.
State law.
You can create lots along the roadway. If subdivisions go deep into a precinct.
Basically creating a road.
You have to follow those rules.
And listen, and
It's
I know,
pretty neat.
and I don't wanna like
So,
presume, this
in
is
other
my
words,
very first
If
meeting, I'm
he
wondering.
took that farm and kept going along the
Yeah,
road,
right.
he could do as many A and Rs as he
Now-
could do, but if he wanted to buy the whole farm and make a neighborhood in there, then that would be the subdivision bylaws and
The
all
good
that
news
stuff.
with that parcel is that there's not that much frontage, it goes back very far.
Yeah,
So
right.
there's a limit to how much you can chunk it
Yeah,
up.
I think that would be, is a fine part, what but I am just learning a lot today, alright, like, and I really appreciate this.
Good meeting.
But to that point, to Clee's point, if I own the land and I have frontage, I can do whatever I want with that land. Like, is,
Depends on the zone, the resident,
right,
Yeah.
but like, is the farm zoned residential?
No,
Or
it's
is
in
it-
chapter.
What?
It is residential, but it's in chapter status.
Chapter 61, which is a whole new set of rules.
So if he were to sell that property, like the portion of the property that wasn't subdivided,
Yeah.
that would have to go before the town for a right of first refusal.
We
There's
could
a
buy it,
whole
go away.
process that follows
Oh,
that.
alright, okay.
The
I'm
town
just
could buy it
wondering
with
about
the
like-
money that we don't
And
have.
the thing about that parcel that's being portioned off, if that is sold to someone who is not him, that, like, it can stay in chapter, but if it is sold to somebody else who's not abutting, it's too small to be its individual
Has to
61A.
be 5 acres,
So
remember?
that would that would have to come out of chapter.
5
If he owns
acres?
them, it's 5, yeah, or adjacent.
Okay,
So like we have multiple pieces, but they all touch each other.
so that's considered the
So,
5 acres.
Yeah,
So
5 acres and I think $500 a year, it's a ridiculous number, but.
under the existing, and I really apologize, like,
No, keep
nobody
asking
wants to stay
questions.
later. Under the existing rules, like, land is purchased on Brintnal. You submit the subdivision. if there's no waivers and everything is good, like, there's no, like, I don't think that's a really smart idea to have a subdivision on that, like, we don't have, because it's not in the bylaws, right? Or,
It's not illegal to build houses.
There's
but the town, but it, do we have a responsibility to, like,
Concom gets involved, if there's wetlands, they tell you you can't build here, you
Yeah.
can only build here. And
You
there's-
talking about like
there's
the
certain-
character of the town?
or just dirt road, not a lot of access, kinda tough to get in, I mean, even by the own admission, very difficult lots to build on, there's this huge slope, there's runoff problems over here, there's this, like, I hear a lot of, like, yeah, maybe that's not a smart place to build, put a, like, but we can't, we don't have anything to say about that, am I right, like,
There's a bunch
under,
of, Tim probably knows, but.
It's under the rules and regs of a subdivision. If he follows them, then all we can do is, like I said earlier, is negotiate.
yeah, just work it out to the
Yeah.
best possible.
But ultimately, if the developer doesn't wanna negotiate, then the planning board can say no waivers and everything dies right there. Cause like, if,
The waivers may make the.
make or break the subdivision,
Yeah.
because ultimately, those waivers
Yeah,
are, to Clee's point, is if we give no waivers, you have to follow subdivision regs. If you can't without the waivers, then you can't build it. That's the,
interesting.
that's sort of the killer.
Alright, I was just curious, I'm just, you know, like,
No,
Good question.
And we have an R40 and R60 zone, and that's all we've got. One person on the board would like to see it R60 and R80, but that's down the road. I think we've been,
I would.
yeah, well, okay, now two, do I hear three, do I hear three? I got three, do I hear four? Four, okay, we'll go with three and a
what's
quarter.
He's not going
what's
on
our
record.
80? I don't know.
Yeah.
Cards are
What's
still
our
here.
rating?
R80 would mean it'd be a 2 acre lot, and then the frontage would be
Oh.
larger. See, some of our surrounding towns have
Yeah,
expanded in, if I remember Oakham right, it's like 3 acres is their
Something like
minimum.
that. I
It's
think.
3 acres and like 350
Yeah.
feet of frontage or
It
300
just-
feet.
it just makes it harder for large, for
In
a
my
large
opinion,
subdivision.
Rutland should have probably did this back
Did a
in the
lot.
90s.
Yeah, well,
didn't.
what's interesting about all of this, just from one meeting, I mean, even Lauren, you brought up somebody, like, yeah, like, we're dealing with a cascading thing that, like, contributes ultimately to, you know, Tamika, like, needing to find another job. You know, there's real consequences to decades of,
Dominoes.
Well,
you know.
and part of it was, and I'm not making excuses, I'm just saying, up until 8 years ago or 9 years ago, we had no professional planner. It was the 5 members and trying to do the best they could.
Yeah,
And,
oh, I'm
and
not, yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah.
in 2008, this town got inundated with subdivisions.
right,
And we had a consultant helping us that was just reviewing what they had, and then 5 members.
Yeah.
Dave George was our first planner, and my God, one of the best planners I've dealt with. John Carbonneau came in, did a good job. Delia came in short term and did a good job trying to fill it, but that's it, that's all we've
Yeah,
had.
yeah.
So the history behind it is,
Interesting.
it was the planning board on their own with the consultant.
Okay.
And unfortunately, in my early days, we had a company called Cullen Engineering, it doesn't exist anymore, down in Auburn. And they weren't, this is my opinion, weren't our best friend. Kevin Quinn's company's always, his first responsibility is to the town of Rutland.
As
Some
it-
of our
as it
other
should.
consultants, their first responsibility was to
To the bill.
the,
Yeah, to the money.
yeah, it wasn't the bill, it was the money, so.
Yeah. Okay, well, no,
That's
that's,
it.
I appreciate you guys indulging me, thank you.
Any more questions,
Questions
comments? Tamika, thank you for all the effort you've done throughout the years.
Brought flowers or something.
Oh,
Little sash, maybe.
a tiara,
Yes,
New mower
definitely.
blades.
striping kit, if you will.
Yeah.
I do wish you the best.
Thank
If
you.
it's a job I think you're going to, they're getting a great person.
Thank you.
And I hope the negotiations work. Don't ever back off. Take everything you can get up
I've
front.
been given
From an
that
old guy
advice.
who's negotiated contracts for years, you gotta get everything first off because it doesn't get any better after you work for them.
That's fair. Duly noted.
I've learned that the hard way, unfortunately. So if I don't have any more issues, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Votes? Aye.
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 Aye. 4-0. All right, we're done.
9:26.